Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 72 of the Couch on Ice podcast. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It's All-Star weekend. It was really fun watching some of the events, even though I missed half of them. But luckily, Chase and Jordan made up for it. They watched a lot of them too. But before we dive into the All-Star game and some NHL news, I will throw it over to those boys. How is it going today, Chase?
Oh, it is a wonderful day, man.
Absolutely wonderful. It is so nice out today. I went for a walk. I went for a walk this morning, which is so rare for me. I haven't taken a walk in weeks, and so I just went for a walk this morning because I woke up early. I'm like, wow, it's so nice. So I went for a couple of walks and haven't been able to do that for the past couple of days. There's either too much snow or too much wind.
Yeah, no, it's actually like +1. Pretty epic.
So epic. You hitting that ODR after the pod?
Oh, maybe. I guess. I don't know. might be doing so. I'll definitely
practice your blindfold Zegras goal or what?
That's what everybody's on.
Definitely not that.
Not that?
Try that.
You're going to try and hit your face on the crossbar because you don't realize how close you are to the net?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Just skating full speed. I think I'm at the hash marks over the boards.
Yeah, honestly, never aspired to be able to do that move. That's for sure.
Oh man, I never knew I wanted to do that move so bad until I saw that move. Like I never saw that, and I've never thought of anything of that, and I'm like.
There's a lot of people that they got mad hands. They always doing spinny random stuff like that.
Well, but I'm just talking to blindfolded everything. The fact he had full control.
Just like Peter LaFleur, he could see, man. He could see.
Still impressive.
Yeah, no.
Still.
Oh no!
Even if he could see, it was still impressive.
Even if it was blurred vision, I'm impressed. So.
Yeah, man, it was so epic that he actually pulled that off.
That's the best part. Is it was pulled. It's not the part they tried that the move worked, but he didn't score. He scored. He scored.
So satisfying.
So good.
So satisfying.
But anyways, before we jump fully into the All-Star break, how about I throw it over to Jordan? He probably had the longest weekend of us all. How was your flight, man?
You have no idea.
I was telling that to Kennedy's parents yesterday that you had were in the air or at the airport for 6 hours and in the air for the other 6, so pretty much.
And it got worse.
Did it? Oh God! Let's hear it. What happened in the airport?
I landed in Calgary. So my flight went Reno to Seattle, Seattle to Calgary, Calgary to Regina, and then home. So I landed in Calgary and I went to get my boarding ticket and I tell the lady my flight and she's like, "Oh, that flight doesn't exist."
What?
And she's like, "Oh, that flight got canceled."
Oh shit.
So instead of leaving at 7 p.m., which would have been a 4-hour layover, I had to wait to leave till 11:45 p.m.
Oh my God, dude.
So I spent about 9 hours in the airport.
In the Calgary airport.
Holy
too.
shit.
The Calgary airport.
Oh, that's so
I know how that
It was genuinely one of the worst days of my life. And it got worse once I got back. So we got to Regina and it was fucking storming, blizzarding.
Yeah.
The drive from Regina to Moose Jaw, if you don't know, normally takes about 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
If you go and
it took us 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Holy.
We got stuck behind a semi that was going 15 to 20 because it had 2 fucking loads on it that it was hauling.
Oh God, man.
And during that, another fucking semi blows by us and tries to pass us, almost sends us off into the ditch. My mom has to
happened a lot this
weekend. Horn.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, and apparently it's a good thing we didn't have to go any farther than Moose Jaw because Caronport, which is just 15 minutes out of Moose Jaw, between here and there, 2 semis jackknifed and blocked the whole highway.
Oh, great. So
that
sounds like an experience.
So I didn't get home until 4 in the fucking morning.
No, what's the worst part about it is You got stuck in Calgary Airport of all airports. Like, it couldn't have been Seattle. Like, not that I've been in Seattle's airport. I've been
To
in
be
Calgary,
fair, I
so-
didn't have American money, so I was a little happy it was Calgary.
Fair enough. Okay, that's fair. I would have assumed you had American money with you still. So, because like I would have just wanted to stay in Seattle for the sheer fact of they have better restaurants and fast food places in the States than they do in Canada.
I wasn't even.
So I would have been happy to try that. Yeah, I
so
got
glad.
that. I would have just.
Yeah, I've been definitely been stuck in Calgary Airport for way too long for some reason. Feels forever, man.
At
Like,
least it was Calgary and not Edmonton. I despise Edmonton Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
I guess you could at least played some games and shit. They had that one game room set up. I think.
Yeah,
I think I
honestly,
spent.
you know what? I binge
some
watched
time.
Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I watched every episode of Boba Fett that they've released.
Was it sweet?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, that's fucking good.
Yeah.
It's good.
When I first watched the first episode, I was like, this seems kind of lame, but it definitely gets better. So
yeah, I almost got in trouble because I almost started it without Kennedy because I was like, fuck. It's like, fuck, why am I waiting for her? Like, this is my show. This is my show. I want to see this. She does too. But like, and then I told her, I hovered on it and I almost clicked it and she like flipped on me. So good thing I didn't watch her, or else I would have been sleeping on the couch and watching episode 2. But should we dive in some hockey, boys? I think we
happily
dove long enough on your hell experience trip. So let's dive off.
The worst day I've had in as long as I can remember.
Well, should we talk about another bad day like Wednesday?
It's definitely not the worst, but yeah, we could talk about it.
Let's say a bad hockey day for you. You can kick it off. Why don't you talk about the middling average Capitals right now, Jordan?
Yeah, it wasn't a great one. We started off with Sammy getting pulled after allowing 3 out of 4 shots in.
Man,
so
like, you guys' goaltending cannot have a streak of games consistent.
No, but I was happy.
Year.
We brought in Phoenix Copley, and he stopped 21 of 22. So at least we brought in a goalie that could save something. Being 3 down was still a shitty fucking way to go.
Know what's crazy about this? Sorry, just something crazy about the Caps. They have 4 goalies better than the team you played and lost to.
Yeah.
Fucali, Samsonov, Phoenix Copley, and Vanacek are probably better than all of Edmonton's goalies, so that's kind of interesting. But sorry to cut you off, Chase.
Great, but he made 24 saves, so I guess
he made more saves than fucking Samsonov, so
I don't think
you can be upset about
that.
that.
Like I was just surprised that they started Samsonov. Like he played the day before. I thought it was.
Well, he was subbed in after a bit, so I guess giving him a real start. I don't know. Plus, like Vanacek.
Yeah, because it was only like Vanacek got pulled right away in that last game, just like Samsonov did. So like, I don't know. He technically played a full game last game, and like obviously, like might as well just roll goalies now the way your goalies play.
Well, I think they're also in a different boat. Like they can play 2 goalies, so that makes it easier to play a guy back to back. Not that I think I agree with you. I don't agree with playing goalies back to back nights unless you are desperate. But yeah, no, I understand.
I guess the Caps are kind of a little desperate, just feeling it a little bit, just
they're
from
struggling
not
right
being
now.
as good as they were.
They've definitely struggled the past, what would you say, Jordan, month?
Yeah,
I'm not saying struggled as in like Philadelphia.
Yeah,
like,
we're
they're
not
still
like
they're still a real hockey team. Okay, we're not like giving up on Washington at all.
Yeah,
they're
we
a good
score
team.
A lot of goals still.
Yeah, oh yeah. You guys just have nights where you just don't show up, and guess who doesn't? Who else does that and is out of a playoff spot? Is Winnipeg. So I'm not worried.
Yeah.
So no. Do you have anything else
on
the game?
As long as we make playoffs and show up, then that's when it counts.
Yeah. Well. Once every 10 years seems to happen, but anyway, do you want to dive deep into the Oilers Caps game? Anything on the Oilers you want to talk about? Some good stuff.
You know what? I was surprised by the defense this game.
Yeah,
they were launching a lot of pucks up to the guys like Draisaitl and McDavid.
Yeah, Draisaitl is starting to pick it up a lot more after that Calgary game. He's kind of got his ears going again.
Yeah, it was just nice to see. I really like those long long passes. I'm always a fan of those.
Yeah, stretch
so it's
passes.
Nice to see guys like Cody Ceci fucking launching them up the ice.
Who'd have thought it? Cody Ceci, best
and then
puck-moving defenseman.
Doing that his whole career, so.
And Evan Bouchard's going to be doing it for the rest of his. So.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so
for the next 6 years in Edmonton.
While we're on the topic in Edmonton, I know we brought him up a lot lately, but like Evan Bouchard is like, he's always been one of my favorite prospects. Like coming up, even before he was drafted by Edmonton, like I love this guy. He's not a great skater at times, it doesn't look like he's a great skater, but I think he's a good defenseman. Like he is just getting better and better and better as the season's going on this year. Like I'm just so impressed with him coming in I don't know if it's a rookie year. We debated that last podcast and still didn't find the answer. I think we determined he's not a rookie, but like it's just I'm very impressed with him when their defense is as bad as it is, and he is as good as he's been.
They've given him a big opportunity, and he's absolutely relished it.
Yeah. First power play is really nice to get to, or at least
especially when you've got guys like McDavid and Draisaitl on it,
and
too.
Hyman in front of the net. Yeah, I'd take those three on my power play as a quarterback.
Me too.
Yeah, with what did Hyman said after the game? He was like, "Yeah, it was nice for once to actually have 4 full lines."
Yeah,
and I actually looked at their lineup and was like, "Holy crap! Yeah, actually playing Fogle on the 4th line and stuff. Like they actually have 12 players." Like, actually, it's probably the first time I've seen 12 players roster.
Oh yeah,
an Edmonton team in like my life.
Well, you know what? Hyman and Nugent Hopkins have been linking up like they were meant to play together.
Yeah, that's been a big talk about what Oilers are going to look like after the All-Star break.
It looked like they knew exactly where each other were. They were playing together.
And also like I'm not saying this is an insult by any means, but it's just facts. Like he's playing 3rd line minutes, Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. You're playing against players like Eller, Sprong, Sheary. Yeah. Like I'm not saying they're not good players, but when you're both top 6 players, you should be doing good against those, and I'm glad they are. Like we've talked about Edmonton's depth for how long, and how long have they not had a 3rd C? And like it's nice that it's showing they can make 4 lines or 3 at least.
Yeah, exactly. Stretch things out.
But yeah, no,
it's
I'm
interesting.
happy, but
yeah, it's not interesting their lineup combinations now. Right now, I'm seeing they have Kane, McDavid, and Yamamoto together, which is kind of strange in a sense. Yamamo's been a little here nor there, but
that's the best way to get him going, though. Hey, put him with the best player in the world and a very talented power forward.
And one of the best gamblers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just don't let him bring him to the casino. He's fine.
Exactly. Keep Kane away from the casino. Keep him on the ice, and he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kane can teach Yamamoto how to take risks. Their second line is Draisaitl with Ryan McLeod and Puljujarvi on the wings, and then like you guys were saying,
I really like that line, by the way.
I like that too.
They also got, like you said, Nuge and Hyman and Derek Ryan together.
Yeah.
And then Fogle, Devin Shore, and Cassian. They got their Travis Boyd, their Nick Dowd, Devin Shore down there. So
that's a good 4th line.
Yeah. Right. Cassian's looking actually.
I don't.
Right.
I love Cassian on that 4th line. I don't love the money on that 4th line.
Yeah, I don't like his paycheck, but I like him.
3rd, 4th line, Cassian is a really good player because he can score 10 to 15 goals, like no problem.
And he brings a great physical presence, obviously.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna say some negative things about this next player, but I don't want people to be like, "Oh, comes Black. He's barely been there. Oh, this bullshit," and like he's young, all this shit. Warren Fogel's not been good enough. And I understand he's been there 6 months, short time. I expected so much more out of him because there were so many teams interested in him when he was available. And Edmonton landed him. I was like, this is perfect. They got a 2nd, 3rd line winger who's big and strong and can win puck battles. Like they needed this. And I just haven't seen it, unfortunately, yet.
And at the start of the year, he was... The reason he's not on Carolina right now is because he wanted an elevated role, and they weren't going to give it to him because they were already stacked in their top 6, and he wanted a better chance at top 6 role.
He wanted to play top 6 or a chance of it. Yep.
Yeah, I feel you, man, because I was pretty stoked. I love the acquisition, but
I do.
the way he's playing
do.
this year, I'm not as not good enough. Exactly.
Yep.
You were traded for Ethan Bear, who is already and has been a good defenseman. So
absolutely,
yeah, definitely losing
prospect as well.
Yeah, definitely losing this year, but
yeah, no, and like I said, I'm not gonna jump to conclusions and be like, this is an awful signing, blah blah blah. Like, I think he's gonna work it out. Maybe not be a first, second liner like permanently, but I think he could definitely jump in as a Swiss Army knife all the time.
And you never truly know with those depth kind of guys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Seen guys come in at like 28, 29 years old and just be wicked fourth or third liners.
That is exactly it. And he's 25. He's got lots of time to grow. He's on a good contract, honestly. Like 2.75. Like that's pretty good for a player like Foegele.
Yeah, and realistically, you can bury that if he completely falls out.
It's tradable easily tradable contract if you are that undesirable from him, but I don't see him getting to that.
Yeah, I don't see a world that happens, but yeah, like
I just wanted to point him out because I want more. I want him to prove more. Perlini's been pretty good when he's jumped in, actually, so I would like to see him play,
especially when he's jumped into the media booth.
Yeah, exactly. So I there's a couple of things with this team. Obviously, there's lots of problems, but
yeah,
they're doing better. They're doing a lot better. And I know it's one game, and the All-Star break tends to break streaks, but no.
Well, it's not like McDavid put in a whole 100% effort at the All-Star break. So.
No, exactly. So, but
better effort than like the Pro Bowl game in the NFL.
Yeah, I heard the Pro Bowl game. Heard about that.
Is that like hard to watch? Like, why do they do this? Like, it's actually weird. Like, they're showing you that this is pointless. And it just keeps happening every year.
All over every.
Like, at least the NHL said, okay, well, if everybody doesn't care, then we'll just create some dumb random event to have fun at. Like, the NFL's like, no, we're still doing the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but that's because they make so much money that they can afford to make so many mistakes, and people will come back for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they make all their money up in a year, pretty much, from that Super Bowl game.
Oh well, if you can have 70 to 100,000 fans at your games, like you're probably making good money.
By the way, like while we're on the subject, I know we're going off a lot of tangents. Expect that today, but do you know what the cheapest ticket is to the Super Bowl this year?
1,000, I'm thinking.
It's like well, it's not quite that much, but it's like a couple $100 for like the cheapest ticket. The worst ticket is like $300-400 I saw.
Wow.
The most expensive is like I want to say like $8,000 or more. Or no, it's probably way more actually. I think it was like $20,000. I think it was like $20,000 for like the really, really good seats there. And football games suck to watch live. Like, I don't even understand. They don't suck, but they're better on TV, I find. But
they can be. It could be even better on TV. That's the funny part.
You just see a lot more. Yeah, it's the angles, right? Like, it's if you're so far away in a football game, it sucks live. It really does, because you can't see anything. You're basically just hearing people scream, and you see someone get a touchdown, and that's about it.
Yeah,
and you're freezing your ass off the whole time for nothing.
Yeah,
you at least don't have to watch the commercials. You get to stand there in awkward silence with everybody while it's going on. But
exactly,
the commercials are beer time.
Oh, dude. Like, NFL is bad like that. Like, I thought the NHL was bad a long time ago. Hey, like, no, not even close, man. The NFL doesn't even play the game. Like, it's crazy. It's like 12. Like, they don't play the game. Hey, like, I can't remember what that stat was. It was like 12 minutes or something of actual gameplay throughout the whole game.
Really?
Like of actual action. It was ridiculously low. To what?
That's stupid.
Because, like, obviously they waste so much time from just the clock running down and just
the clock running down.
Punting like, you can like not count punting it sometimes because they just do a fair catch so nothing happens. And then there's like, you get your field goal and then you kick it after that, and it's like a commercial in between each thing, and it's like 10-20 minutes go by.
It's so stupid. So like, I hate that the last 2 minutes of a football game is a half an hour. That no sports game should be 2 minutes long on the clock, but take half an hour.
Yeah, just got those timeouts and shit and everything.
Yeah. They should make a rule where at the end of the game you can't like waste time or something like that. Where you have to like the clock stops. Where the clock at the 2-minute mark, it stops every play.
Honestly, it's like half of football is like the end of that, and the whole that is like the game of football is that it can happen. Everything, so much can happen at the end of the game and stuff like that.
You can win a game as long as you're within a touchdown. You can win a game.
So like
the last 2 minutes
for some reason,
I remember that Super Bowl where Brady was down. Was it to Atlanta? Maybe that by like 28-3 or whatever.
Yeah, it was. They were ridiculous. Atlanta was killing the first half, and they won by what was it? Touchdown?
And then they won.
Or like 10 points or something crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. It's just the fact that like killing time just kills me. You know,
like it's bullshit. That's a game. I hate it.
That's a game plan in like football is to kill time and like waste the first quarter. Do you need to watch the first quarter of like 90% of games? No, not at all. Nothing happens. Like nothing happens.
Maybe a touchdown or a field goal. Like they'll get one team will get decent range, and that's it.
There's that 1% of teams, a small percentage of teams that'll blow up in the first quarter. That's about it. Like that was the game you needed to watch in the first quarter.
Yeah,
but,
if you're playing like the Detroit maybe, but
like it's so ridiculous, man. And same with like I don't know if it is like why I feel like this is because like it's like soccer and stuff like that. Like you're playing time of possession and controlling and like wasting time more than you are playing the game. Like that's what's like I understand that is the game, but like
No, I completely get it because like Jordan and I are both soccer players. Like we know the sport very well. We follow the sport very well. We played the sport to a fairly high level, I would say.
A brilliant time waster.
Yeah. And like we even understand how annoying that is in soccer. Like, okay, stop making your 30th pass to your left center back and just go forward a little bit. Like I understand what you're saying for sure with that. It's super frustrating. And like, if I wasn't a soccer fan, I couldn't watch a game. Like if I didn't play the game, I would never be able to watch a game. And I understand why people hate it. Watch it because it is so boring unless you understand the small technical stuff. Like someone makes a touch and then moves it to their left foot to their right foot, and you can talk about that for 5 minutes because that's all that's happened in that 10-minute span. But it's interesting because it's important in the small detail, right? So it's just I think football maybe has to be a little bit similar where if you were like if that was your life, then maybe the time wasting isn't as big of an issue, right? But I totally agree with you. Totally agree.
If you play football, there's lots of talk. It's a super interesting game. But like I said, if better camera angles, like man, people would be like tuned in when it comes to like football. And stuff
and
like
the pace picking up a little bit in the dead times. I want those times sped up. That's it. Instead of having a clock time, what is it? 45 seconds is the clock to make a play and then line up.
No, they trimmed that down a little bit.
Did they lower it?
It's like 25 or 30.
Okay, that's not
like
that
bad. There's like that time of like resetting the ball. I don't really whatever.
No, for sure.
I don't know all the things.
I think it should be. I think they should just lower that stuff and make it faster.
Well, the one thing that I love about hockey is that we have commercials too, and they don't get that tired, but they still kind of can get tired.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that can really happen in football unless you like do an actual drive and
they play once a week
and gain your yards and slowly do it because that's the only time you get a full-fledged actual playing time. That's where they won't go to commercial because they don't go to commercial while you're on a drive. So if you can like just pound them and ground pound them, that can like slowly slow them down throughout the game. But like we're still talking like this game's like a ridiculous long period of time. How much action do these guys have? Like that's not much. So like you said, if we could get a little bit more action out of those.
Exactly.
Like with soccer, like can we squeeze it down and throw one guy out or something, and everything's a little bit faster? Like
I wonder that a lot. Actually, I wonder that if there's too many players on the field sometimes for soccer, just in the compactness of it, because it's so hard to create and score. What would make a difference if there's one less guy? If it's 10 people with the goalie, like you have one less defender, one less attacker, whatever the case may be, and I think it would make the game faster. I agree.
A lot more interesting for sure.
But it definitely makes, like, soccer is, you need to have stamina up the ass. Like, that's the difference, right? You're running for 90 minutes straight.
If you're
that's
not
the difference. The clock doesn't stop like football is the great part about soccer. So you are tired after 20 minutes. You go through 2 sprints. On football, you're running back. Went on 2 sprints. We punted the ball. I'm sitting for 5 minutes. Soccer, you're standing or jogging or walking back for at least 5 minutes and then sprinting again, right? So that's the difference in football and soccer, the biggest and athletic ability, I should say. But no, boy, that was a long tangent. Should we really aggressively turn back to hockey? I love talking other sports here and there.
There was a fucking interview that Tom Brady did with Draymond Green, and they talked about exactly this. And it was
just tangents.
I hope people enjoyed.
Yeah, I hope so. We warned you off the bat. This is going to be a tangent-filled podcast. You're going to get a lot of everything. So let's jump back into hockey. Did you want me to go chase, or did you want to talk about the Kraken?
You go ahead.
Go ahead, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make a coffee.
Sounds
wake
good.
up a little bit.
Wake up.
Maybe
stop.
Get some sniff salts.
Let's get some smelling salts on this podcast. That would be an interesting podcast. Can we do that one day?
Salts next.
Well, no, smelling salts are actually like not drugs that you can be hooked on. I'm gonna order a smelling salts for a podcast. That sounds so fun. That's definitely something I should order for this team I'm about to talk about too, because oh boy, are they boring and suck. The Blackhawks are awful as they play the red hot Minnesota Wild. Minnesota Wild win 5-0. Cam Talbot gets another shutout, 30 saves. This guy just doesn't want to come out of the crease, and Evanson doesn't want to take him out. Kakinen who, right? But no, Zook scoring again, 14th goal. He's having such a good year. Chase mentioned it a couple podcasts ago, how good of a year. Super impressed. Obviously, Kaprizov scoring as well, and the Fiala scores as well, 13th. So really good game from the Wild. They're just so good, man. They're so fun to watch. They're so electrifying. Their offense is better than, what are we saying? They're probably top 8 offenses in the NHL?
Yeah, I'd say probably at least top 6.
Yeah, something like that. Like, there's a lot of teams looking at, like, Colorado, Florida, and, like, lots of teams. But, like, yeah, Minnesota is insane.
Not probably top 5. I'm sure we could live
probably at least top 10. At least top 10. Very minimum. So,
undeniably.
Yeah, why not, hey? Why not? Like, they have been that good.
Yeah, and they just fly. I love the energy.
Constantly high flying.
Always skating so fast, and it's just my favorite. Like, the way Bill Guerin made this team, we were pretty skeptical. Like, we were waiting to see how it would work.
I didn't even put him in the playoffs.
I was skeptical. You guys.
So yes, I was definitely skeptical. I
was worried about the buyouts for sure, and like, can you win with just Kaprizov? Like, can Hartman be a center? And yes to all of those. So
yeah, exactly.
Right, like actually, so many question marks. But yes to everything. So, and then let's dive over to Chicago.
And like, honestly, just to bring up the game that I'm gonna be bringing up, I'll bring up the Islanders. The Islanders Kraken game, sorry, but this is something they need to take note of, like what Minnesota's doing here. Like, I think the Islanders missed the boat here, and I agree. They should have probably at least created one scoring line or something like that, like an offensive line at least.
Well, they had it, and then they gave away their best scorer. Like, we talk about the Eberle and stuff, and I know a lot of people, like, off the bat, and I'm sure I said it too at one point, where like, it probably shouldn't hurt the Islanders that much. Like, it's Eberle. Like, Eberle's a good scorer; he can score 20, but like, realistically, he should be scoring more goals even. Oh boy, they miss him more than anyone. They can't score. So no, I agree with you with that. They definitely need some scoring help. But before you dive into that, no, you're good. It's a good comparison. I just got one team to talk about left, and that's the Blackhawks, and it's not good things. And
never
be prepared for next podcast, because I understand there's a lot of Blackhawks news that came out. Some involving the investigation with Kyle Beach before and Rocky Wirtz. I didn't have enough time to get all the information I wanted on that, so I'll do it next podcast for it. But I'll talk about the hockey side of Chicago right now. They have like 3 players. I'll tell you that. That's about it. And the rest of the team just is like, oh, I'm a hockey player. I should probably like move my arms fast so it looks like I'm skating. Like, I don't know. DeBrinket's the only one that like I look at and I'm like, at least you're producing. Kane's taken a huge step back that we're not even talking about. Like, I know it's Kane and I'm sure he can turn around pretty quick, but it's just weird seeing Kane kind of.
It makes me wonder. Like, I've seen him do this before, but it just makes me wonder that, like, after all this happened, I wonder if he asked to leave and they said, let's not bring that up yet. But yeah maybe.
Like, I just wonder that. Is he done? Yeah. Like, is he done being a Blackhawk after this? Like, I can imagine how hard it is. Imagine winning 3 cups and you will not feel credited for those because of a team decision that, like, maybe you didn't even get to be a part of. Like, and I'm not saying that all these players are innocent that won the cup in 2010 in this instance, but some are. Some obviously are.
Certainly, Kane and Taves do have an extra amount of responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I just thought I'd bring up a couple of those forwards. This defense is bad. So bad defensively. Like, I really, really do not like this defense at all. There's no that like Caleb Jones actually is like had a decent year for the most part, but like, do you expect Caleb Jones to be more than a 6th defenseman? Right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Connor Murphy's been just bad. He's an all right defensive defenseman. He's not been great, but like Jake McCabe's been. I don't know. Just don't know. I don't like this team.
Yeah,
I don't like the construction.
I've been a pretty big favorite of Jake McCabe.
I like him as a hockey player.
How he's played.
He's a good hockey player. He just doesn't fit this team anymore. Like, they're bad. This whole defense sucks, and that's the issue. Jake McCabe is a good 4th D man. Very good 4th.
Yeah, like kind of what I brought up at other podcasts is like this just doesn't mesh. Like, you guys got a whole bunch of like very more offensive minded defensemen and like literally Connor Murphy and like maybe Caleb Jones is like your defensive guys.
If Caleb Jones is your defensive defenseman, like Connor Murphy's probably your best defensive defenseman, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I hate this team. I really hate how this team is constructed.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a couple pieces.
No centerman this year. Hey,
no,
those centermen just didn't show up this year. Like, I actually couldn't name who's been their centerman for their.
I'm so disappointed in Kirby Dach this year.
Yeah,
I'm honestly like, I'm baffled that he has not looked like a top 5 pick yet. He's like, I'm obviously not gonna sit here and be like, he's gonna be a bust. He's a bust. He's done. Not in the league. Like, he's a good enough player. He's got a lot of talent, and I see it flashes at the talent, but he's lazy. We saw it in junior, and I wondered, okay, that's probably a junior thing because you're better than everyone. Like that, we tend to see that a lot, right? And then they come into the NHL and they're like, oh, it's fun again because it's harder for me and I need to try to be good. And I don't know, Kirby, is it a mentality of this team? Is it the leadership? Is it just Kirby as a player? I don't know what it is, but something needs to change in this team bad.
Yeah, and soon.
Bad. A little bit of front office news on this team too. They've had a few interviews on some GMs. They interviewed Scott Mellenby, who was in Montreal and left this past year when he didn't get the GM job, and Eric Tulski. Sorry, that I was gonna say Tuluski, but that was an ex-player for the Hurricanes. But this guy is not an ex-player for the Hurricanes. He is a current assistant GM for the Hurricanes. So 2 names, and they're also looking at Peter Chiarelli for the hockey ops side, which is interesting. As long as he doesn't handle money, sure. Then
don't
I
give
can.
him a checkbook.
Yeah, then I'm okay with it. So, but yeah, that's all I got for your Minnesota and Chicago. A very good team and a very just.
Yeah, Minnesota's got the 3rd most goals in the league, and Chicago has the 5th least goals in the league. So
sounds about right. And it was 5-0, so it suited them. Chase, what do you got for us for your final game, your Seattle Islanders game?
Yes, the old Kraken. Well, basically, you got some
W.
Well, Vince Dunn, a W out of the Kraken, indeed.
Kraken, very rare.
Yeah, very, very rare. I should actually double check what number is that. Hey, like what
3.
number is
no,
that?
I'm just kidding.
Number 15.
No, it's like 8. Wow. That's a lot better than I thought. I was about to say like 13.
Yep.
That is tied for third last.
Yeah, that's pretty good bad. Time. Pretty bad.
Oh yeah. But there was good things. Vince Dunn, just nice little dangle coming down from the blue line.
I want him to be good so drag. Bad.
Backhands.
He's supposed to be so good, Vince Dunn. Just be that top D man that you're supposed to be, please. Like I really liked him for so long, and he's just been like, I backed you up over the Tarasenko deal, and you did this. Fucking pure Engvall all over again. Sorry, go on.
He's had one of those games this game, which is nice to see because they always need
very
him
few
to kind of be their offensive sort of guy. Yeah, it's only his 5th goal of the year, which I guess not too bad, honestly.
Well, his first goal was the Kraken's first, so 4 from after opening night.
Was it was Ryan Donato?
Oh, maybe it was Ryan Donato.
I want to say Dunn scored in that first game, though.
He did score in that first game, though. I'm pretty sure he did.
He scored the first goal.
That's okay. Who gives a shit? He's only scored 5 goals, and he's supposed to be a top D-man getting 22 minutes a night, not one.
Yeah,
what is his minutes, by the way? Yeah.
He played 21 in this game, man.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Like they play him a little too much. He's more of an 18-minute guy playing more offensive situations and stuff like that. Just like always, like just
before
not
the
using
season,
their team properly. Philip Grubauer deciding to not let one goal and play good. Really only like 19 shots on him. Like,
was that his first shutout of the season?
Yeah. It is.
Is that Seattle's first shutout of the season? It's probably Seattle's first,
so
probably.
So, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
You got any good things to say? They won, and we haven't said a good thing yet, other than Grubauer won a game, which you have to do if you're the starting goalie.
I can't even. I guess a good thing is Mason Appleton got 2 points. Like that's out of. Like McCann is the guy that should be getting 2 points, which he does.
Looks like he's gonna score every night, and he scores every night.
And that's the Eberle effect, like we're saying. Like this guy can like make sure you have a line doing things.
I love Eberle to be like a second liner on a cup-winning team, like a second, third line, 6th forward, 7th forward score. What Phil Kessel was in Pittsburgh, what I want Eberle to be. On its
yeah, man. If Seattle can draft a first line, like they're fucking flying. If they got Eberle, McCann,
they got 2 of the 3 so far that they want.
It probably work.
McCann and Beniers, as long as they pan out, right? So that's not bad. Beniers is looking. I mean, 2nd overall. Like,
yeah, he should exactly.
There's a good chance that he's a first line NHLer. But
yeah, and I mean, I if it was me, I would have taken him first, right? Like I said, so
fair enough. Yeah, you did take him first. Yeah, that's while we're on this boat and we're talking about Seattle. Do you still do that? Do you take Beniers over Power? Or do you take Power over Beniers still? I know it's still early. They haven't played an NHL game.
I'd probably still take Matty Beniers just simply because he's a center, right? Like I value especially as a new franchise, having like a set center over a set D-man is kind of more important to me.
No, I get that.
And a two-way, 200-foot center too. We're not just talking.
Yeah, no, exactly. I get that. Yeah. That's fair. Well, I take Power. I take Power still after that World Juniors. Like I have to.
Yeah, I do think Power deserves to be taken number 1.
I wonder. Power's the type of guy who is he's gonna be like Ekblad. Now, which Ekblad are we going to get? Are we going to get the first half of Ekblad's career or the second half of Ekblad's career? One of the two is going to pan out. He's going to be either a little underwhelming for a first-round pick because of his size, or he's gonna explode. No in between.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just gonna be good. He's either gonna be great or a top 4 D man.
Yeah, I'm definitely not worried about Power.
I'm not worried.
Great,
sure. I think he's gonna be great too. I'm leaning on.
Being real great.
I do too. I think he can score. I
like that Buffalo took him first. I like that they kind of went away from the fact that we may have a really good player in Dahlin already, but
you got a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna be fun to watch, man. Like, I think he proved that
at the World Juniors and the World Cup of Hockey, and
way too good at skating to being like 6'5", 6'6".
Like Simon Edmondson too.
Yeah.
But anyways, back on the game. More tangents. Do you got anything on the Islanders? That's interesting.
Well, the Islanders decided to just not show up this game and look like a disaster. I remember reading something
about
already
on All-Star break.
After this game, I remember reading something. Some guy was just ripping them hard for just if this looks like bad news. Like, he was like, lose another. It might have been just freaking out because they lost to the Kraken, obviously. But
I get it. I understand being upset about that. But the Islanders are still better than 5 teams in the East. And the East is the best of, conference. I don't know. They're not going to make playoffs. They're not going to be in dead last. I'm kind of just content with what the Islanders are this year. They're just they're average. That's just the case.
Yeah, I think there's no surprise that I don't think they feel like they have to push themselves to make the playoffs here. I think they can try to maybe
they'll
direct
push
themselves in a little bit of a different situation here. Maybe make a move with somebody and try to free some cap up and try to figure something out, because it just didn't work this year. So you're gonna have to tweak it a little bit.
I'm very intrigued by their offseason.
They've done kind of what Calgary is doing in a sense, by trying to keep everybody as much as possible. So that. It worked the last couple of years, yes, but
it's hard not to run back the same team when you're 1 game away, or 2 games away, or 1 game away in the past 2 years from being in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah. So, but at least the players put you in this situation. That's what I love about Lou. Hey, he gave the players a chance, and he's like, "Okay, let's see what we got." And they're not proving it this year. Well, then, you force my hand. I have to make some moves then, and we got to do something.
Guys, something big will be.
So I'll say it Bailey. One of these guys is not going to be there at the deadline here, because Bailey's got at least a shorter contract.
Funny? I think
-3 in this game. Tough game.
I think playoff teams are going to look at Bailey and lick their chops and go, "Oh, please. Yes, please. Any day, I will take him for my second or third line I want him on my 2-way line instantly. With Pittsburgh, I want him with Carter on that third line instantly if I can. So, that'll be a good name out there for a lot of teams.
Yeah, the only other guy is Varlamov. They've been kind of poking starts in periodically as much as they can, and he's been really up to the task lately. It's nice to see. I don't know what it is, or he didn't look great at the start of the year, but literally he was coming off injury, and I believe Sorokin was just on fire, so they were just playing him all the time.
I get it. Sorokin's your goalie, man.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just nice to see how Varlamov's playing the last several starts that he's actually.
They're just starting him to say, "Hey, Edmonton, see, he's still better than your goalie."
Yeah, I got to show everybody that he's not just some random goalie. He's not at all.
I poke fun at him a lot, and I'm not the biggest fan of Varlamov. But if you have another goalie you trust with him, I'm all for getting a Varlamov. It's just putting all your eggs in his basket is not. I do not trust that. That's the only direction I don't.
Yeah, probably get a decent backup, not your regular.
A really good 1B or an average 1A backup is what he is. So, but is that all you got on the Isles and the Kraken?
That is all I got.
That's all you got? Cool. Well, that's all we got for the games. I mean, there's a couple other games we could have talked about, but It's just the Kings beating the Red Wings 5-3 and the Flames beating the Yotes 4-2. So nothing else really too crazy except for All-Star Weekend. So should we dive into the All-Star Weekend, boys?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to start off with the competitions. I will I'll state the competition and the winner. You guys just jump in if you have any points on that event. Say what you have to say, whatever the case is, okay? And let's start with the fastest skater, which was won by Jordan Kyrou with 13.55 seconds, which is pretty fast for the youngster.
Yeah, I did not expect that one.
Know what? I actually did, and I have said this on podcasts before. I remember watching him in junior play World Juniors, and he was the fastest player I've ever seen at that age at the time, it seemed. Like, I was like, oh my god, this guy is so fast. And saw him at the All-Star game again. Was I surprised he won? Absolutely, because McDavid and Cale Makar were in this competition. And Chris Kreider, who's like, oh my god, he's so fast in a straight line. But like, I was impressed with Kyrou. He's so quick. So quick. What do you guys got on the fastest skater?
Oh, yeah. Kyrou's the man. He was definitely not a surprise for sure to me.
Out there.
I think Cale Makar would have won, though, had at that last turn, he had a little bit of a revert, like nothing crazy, where like he just like slipped for like half a second. And I think he would have won, though, if he hadn't have had that little.
Should have been my boy. Should have been my boy Larkin, but
he can only win with a moving start.
Old trip up there.
Yeah, but he almost flew into the boards. I was really worried Larkin was going to hurt actually for a second. I was like, oh shit. But no, that's all I got for that competition. You guys ready to move on?
Yep.
Let's move on to the save streak, which was won by the Atlantic, which I don't know if they did it this way last year. I don't think they did. I don't remember them combining the two divisions. Did they do that the same last year? I thought it was individual goalies doing it. So Vasilevsky and Campbell win. Am I shocked? No. Because one of the names is Vasilevsky, so Campbell just has to make 4 saves to get to 9, and they're good.
Actually, it wasn't surprising, that's for sure, because they were the first ones that got up there.
Yeah.
So they have no pressure, no idea what's up, and then they just go out there and get like a ridiculous save streak.
Yeah, 9.
Which they started on like the last one, so like you made the save on the 9th one or something like that.
Yeah, it was something.
And then they just kept saving them, and it was just bam, and everybody else got 2. So like
well, Talbot Saros got 5, so they were almost halfway. They were over halfway. So but if I'm being honest, I prefer the individual goalies rather than the tandem, because I don't think that's fair for like one goalie has one slip up or whatever, and like the other. I like the individual better.
Pacific should have won because John Gibson was not going to let a goal in. He was not doing it. Another guy let in all 3 of them. He was just like, nope, not letting in one. It was just a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Old Gibby.
So, no, that's. Do you guys have anything else on the save streak other than, like I said, I think it should be individual save streak. But
just individual.
That's the only issue with it.
I didn't mind it.
It's okay. It made it go faster, I guess, which is all right, but. I prefer individual. Much prefer individual because I like focusing on one goalie.
Yeah, exactly.
And seeing them do good, because this is the reason I want that is because this is a goalie competition. This isn't a shootout competition. It's a goalie competition. So
yeah, exactly. No,
I want the individual. If the players are individual, the goalie should be. So that's all I have to say about that. It was fun. So let's move on to the Fountain Face-Off, the new event that was on the Bellagio. Fountain.
The Bellagio.
Yeah, the fountain there. So what did you guys think of this event first before, I guess I can dive in. Zach Werenski ended up winning it with 25.634 seconds in the final, even though Yossi in round 1 got under 12 seconds and should have won it, but whatever. What did you guys think of this event in general?
It's pretty cool.
I'll let you go first, Chase, because I don't have an opinion of it.
I thought it was pretty cool. Like I like the idea of it. I really did.
Yeah.
I think that's something they should bring into like actual all-star events, like setting up like moving ish targets or having targets and stuff like that.
I agree.
You're saucing them in there and stuff like that. Like you could do.
As long as it's not too many and too hard, because you don't want too hard. Because there's just a couple of them that went that who like Huberdeau who went first. Like after he went, I kind of panicked with this event. And it was 40 seconds of Huberdeau.
Wow, I'd be a little nervous.
And, well, I get why he was nervous. No, for sure. But like I saw that and I'm like, is everyone gonna be 40 seconds? Because if they are, this is a shit event. Like you have to have a couple people. And honestly, if it wasn't for that Jocelyn Lemereau getting 16 seconds right away, this event was about to be ruined. And then it picked up pretty quick after that. But it was interesting. I like it. There's a lot when Huberdeau and Eberle or not Eberle, I guess, but mainly Huberdeau went. It was just a lot of dead air, which was my issue with it. That's about it.
Well, that was the broadcasting, man. Like,
the broadcasting was
broadcasting for sports. That was just the biggest joke. Like,
I want to talk about that for a second too. I don't want to criticize too bad, but the one guy doing it was. Like, he was trying to be playful with the players, but he kind of just seemed like a dick. He's like, oh, Johnny Gaudreau, you really sucked on that one. It's like, thanks for telling me. It's an all-star game for fun. Like I understand he's trying to have fun and play around and joke around, and, like, that's the point of it. But, like, it was so aggressive, some of the stuff he was saying. Man. That he didn't need to say.
All the commentators and everybody there were just straight up. They were just there. Like they're just like, yeah, I'm paid.
I heard Bieksa a few times. Here I liked Bieksa.
Bieksa was decent, but like everybody.
I like Derek Englund.
They're just like, yep.
Derek Englund wasn't bad as a guest because
it was terrible. Really do much, I can't even believe that. Like no hype. Like when they introduced the teams, all I could hear is this fucking smoke machine blowing off. I'm like, oh yeah, this is wonderful. Hey,
it wasn't great. It was
no sound. I couldn't hear. Like I don't know if the sound guy screwed up or what the hell happened, but the microphone was like right beside the fucking smoke thing. Like what's going on? And like I said, the commentating, there's no life. Like watch the NFL All-Star game, and the guy's like got some sort of vibe in his voice.
Yeah,
like everybody's like, oh yeah.
Do you know who instantly should have been? Who should have been talking to the players?
Like. Nobody even has like things to say. Nobody's got like stats or like random stuff or like interesting things. Like it's like nobody was prepared. It's just like, what's going on here, guys? Like clearly I should have had ESPN because I think ESPN had the actual full rights to it.
I was gonna say that
was
TNT
probably actually worth watching because that whole Unsportsman was the biggest waste of fucking time. They made me feel more out of it because
for me it should have been TNT. That panel should have been running the talking, especially Biz. Talking to the players, it should have been Paul Bissonnette. Without question. He has the best, probably, media to player relationship out of any hockey player. He's funny naturally. The players love him. Everyone respects him and trusts him. Like, it made a lot more sense for him to be talking through the mic to the players. Just to make them feel more comfortable and have some entertainment on air. Now, I'm not saying you should have to do it all the time, but like have him as one and Liam as the other. Like, I don't know. I did not like
they're like acting like they're acting like the players are gonna put on some hilarious show and just be so entertaining.
And don't get me wrong, some of them were. Stamkos was. Like, Stamkos is my favorite player at the event. Because like there's some stuff he was saying, like he's like I can't aim, like during the we'll get to 21 and 22. He's like, I can't aim. I've been in Florida for 14 years. It's too cold. Like I laugh my ass off and stuff like that. So
exactly. Like him and Pavelski seem to be chilling, but like most of these guys are gonna be just.
But is Zach Werenski interesting? Like, let's be real. Like, Zach Werenski was asked like 2 questions and he like didn't know what to say and just said
exactly. Like
Kruse and Wilson were a lot of fun.
Yeah, like there's a couple of guys that were good.
I was so happy to hear all of the Vegas fans booing Tom Wilson, man. Oh,
for sure.
Yeah,
that put a smile on my face, just like him. Put a smile on him. That guy loves being hated.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just don't understand. Like, the players aren't going to be the ones that are the most Like, they're not gonna be saying random, being so entertaining or something. Like, that's your job as like.
And by the way, like,
as like the broadcasters and stuff. Like, you're supposed to like lift the vibe and stuff, not just assume these players are just gonna dance around and like, you know.
And know what's
like
funny too,
just
like
because they're on TV or something all of a sudden, you know.
And
like,
if that's what you want, they picked half of this All-Star team horribly wrong. Marchand should have been in this naturally as an All-Star, but if you want personality, he should have been first on your list after this season even. Like there's a couple guys like
personalities in this league.
In fact, Ovi wasn't there is complete
Ovi didn't go because he just never goes.
He never goes. I hate that he doesn't. I understand why he doesn't want to go. And I agree with him. I'm on his side for sure. But it
was weird that he
sucks.
COVID-19. I thought I saw him and Kaprizov together.
Oh yeah, no, he was there for a second.
He was there for a minute.
He was there for like a second or two. I could have swore.
He did score a goal. You're right. He did score a goal.
But no, like it's just
awesome.
There's a couple of stuff like that. Like biggest issue with it. They need either fix the panel. If you want the players to be more interesting, take the more interesting players.
And be more interesting yourself. Like,
yes,
Jesus
Christ, some players along, like bring guys like PK Subban and other guys that we know are major personalities.
That's a great call. Why isn't Ryan Reeves there doing the call? Why isn't he doing it?
Bring some of these big personalities out to do some of these talking. They have relationships already.
Yep, I agree. I 100% agree. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, and then also don't bring MGK if he's gonna just sing some love songs. Like, nice one.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah. I was disappointed by the set list.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I like Machine Gun Kelly a lot, but the set list was picked quite poor.
Yep.
Like, just literally went up there and sang songs about his girlfriend, or what? Is that what happened? Like, I don't even know, and I don't care. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Don't really care. It wasn't great. Let's move on to the next event, to the hardest shot. Victor Hedman wins this, shooting a 103.2 miles per hour slap shot.
Wait, the only other thing about that. Sorry, I wanted one more thing I forgot to bring up about the that crazy new event. The fact that those guys had to hit the puck just to turn the light on is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, for fuck's sakes, you have like some ref standing there for no goddamn reason.
I agree.
Like, get him to turn the light. What are you guys doing watching this guy do this? Why don't you turn the fucking pucks on and then give them to him so he can just sauce them? Like,
I agree.
I got like, if I was there, I would have been turning on the pucks for whoever was shooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's just me as a person. I would have done that because, like, why would you do that?
As soon as he shoots it, another guy should be there to tap the other end of the puck. If that's how it works, and like that's the only way you can get the puck to work that way, you should have two guys, one on the opposite side, tapping the puck while the guy shoots, tap, shoot, so he can pull it over and yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, and it clearly took like some decent force because they were like smashing the puck.
There was a couple of them where they were like tapping it hard.
They were wasting lots of time, and they weren't tapping it. They were fucking hitting this puck. Like, what do you guys do? Like, how do you think they're gonna even take a good shot? When do you ever just smash your stick on the ice and then do a saucer pass? Like, never once, never, never done that. Why would you ever do that? Like, that just annoyed me. But yeah, it was cool that they had glowing pucks and stuff. But
but not the way they did it. So, but moving
on. Feed the guy. Like, how long do they last? They can't you can't just turn on 10 of them or something before fucking starts shooting.
I wondered that.
30 seconds.
I wondered if it was the
competition was like max 30 seconds. Like,
I have no idea.
I'm so rattled. We wasted their time trying to start these pucks. Like, half of it was them hitting the fucking puck. Like,
I don't know what my bigger question is, why do you need to what's wrong with regular pucks? Why are we trying to put like a chip in?
You couldn't see them because it was dark out and stuff like that. Because they didn't do the competition in the middle of the day.
Put more lights on the pads. Oh no! We have to spend some money on some power to light this event up.
Put some, do any. Yeah, there's probably many ideas.
There's way better ideas than this. So I don't know. Whatever.
Put logos on them that are outstandingly. You can see them.
I agree. Honestly, I think. Bold. If I'm being brutally honest, I think we talked too long on pucks, and we should just fuck off of pucks. But I agree with everything we've said. but yeah, let's just move on, because like I feel like a lot of this is half of this is just us rattled on certain stuff that happens. So, let's move on. I'm gonna sort of zoom through a little bit because we're kind of stagnating on the All-Star game. So Hedman, fastest shot, 103.2 miles per hour. Pelech got in second with 102.2. Anything on the hardest shot? There's really nothing to say other than Hedman was just insanely hard shot.
He uses like a 122 flex or something.
That's insane. That's insane.
Something cool. Tom Wilson used a Jack Eichel stick for it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Moving on.
I had that 102 flexor or something. Yeah. Something stiffer. Sounded, I don't know, just Tom Wilson not use a stiff. Weird. I was rattled when you said that. But anyways,
for sure. But moving on to the breakaway challenge. This one's probably the one we'll dive deeper in because this is the one everyone talked about. Alex Pietrangelo wins it with 64 points. This is also where Trevor Zegras does his average.
No, Pietrangelo did not win it, buddy. Don't worry. Pietrangelo. No, he didn't win it. It was Zegras, man. The John Hamm guy just cheated and gave him extra points.
Zegras got cheated
and the old Vegas wasn't gonna like do anything about it. You know.
No, I agree. Yes, I agree. Sorry, I thought you were saying like I got the like actual player wrong. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
that is what happened.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just saying that's what happened. But yeah, you're completely right. Even though he missed the net on a shot, like. Pietrangelo he won, so
didn't even score.
Like, yeah, no, everyone was talking about it. Was the Zegras one probably? Hey, like that was just
100%.
Like Jack Hughes too. That Michigan
Kaprizov was
pretty cool. Obviously, Alex Kaprizov coming in,
Kaprizov
doing good stuff too. So no, I love this event. This is the best event in the All-Star game, I think.
Yep. Because you get to see some flair from the players.
Yeah, like it's
some nods to a lot of players
and humor, and some humor, and yeah, it's fun. Like it's all meant to be fun for everyone. The goalies aren't upset, the players aren't upset about anything. It's literally like going to an ODR with your friends and saying, "We're gonna play a skills comp. Who can get the best goal?" And that's it. Like it's just the best thing in hockey that all kids do, right? So love that event. Super, super fun to watch. Do you guys have anything you want to add to it?
Well, I just love that Zegras had the average Joe's thing. Yeah, man. I'm a huge ADAA
man. I love Dodgeball. That movie's
like
so
the
good.
Greatest movie in the world. So yeah, no, I just absolutely love that.
Best Vince Vaughn movie.
Took the Peter LaFleur wrote and actually pulled that move off. Like that was the
best. That's just so it. It was just perfect. Like he scored it.
Like I see people screw around and stuff like that on the ice, and I've seen people do shit like that, but like to actually do it in front of all those people, throw the old blindfold, whether he was fully blindfolded or not, like it doesn't really matter. He probably can do it with his eyes closed if he wanted to. Like that's
yeah, exactly.
That's like it's one of those things that when you get good at that stuff, it's more the momentum. You just feel where it is as long as you can keep the momentum going. You don't really need to see what you're doing. So yeah, no, so sick. Like I said, don't worry, everybody. He won. Like it was just
no.
We just will never say that, I guess. And,
it's just dumb that know what this reminds me a little bit of Zegras' snub is Aaron Gordon in the dunk contest.
I don't even know that.
Vibes. Oh, you don't know that? Oh, it's like
Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, that's the big. What Jordan is that? The biggest slam dunk contest controversy of all time, an NBA All-Star.
Yeah, I'd certainly say Aaron Gordon because
that one where he
put up a great performance, but Gordon blew everybody out of the water.
These two performances were two of the best performances we've seen since probably Vince Carter, right?
Yeah, those absolutely. And Vince Carter is well known as the most exciting dunker of all time.
Right, and so Aaron Gordon lost, but he...
Are you talking this year then, or what?
No, this was a couple of years ago. He's lost twice.
The first time was like 2015 or 16.
Yeah, and that was the big one. That was the big one where everyone was like, what the fuck? And I agree.
Then back and it happened again, and he's like, all right, never again.
Yeah, he's not going ever again. He's probably one of the best dunkers in the NBA. He will never go to one again because he gets snubbed.
Like talented when it comes to
flair. For flair, right? He's got some of the most flair for it, for sure. Yeah,
and he can jump out of the roof.
So,
I see.
Yeah, just this. Basically, the wrong person won, and now we're never gonna get to see him in an All-Star game again.
Yeah, I watched that Vince Carter way back in the day, and I just never went back to the All-Star or that slam dunk competition because it just never I guess good. Dwight Howard was the only other one that I would have.
Dwight Howard was a lot of fun too.
Superman.
Yeah. No, that was always underwhelming after Vince until with a few anomalies, obviously. But moving on to our second last event and the final of the new events they made up was the 21 and 22, the blackjack type shooting one. And the winner for this was Joe Pavelski because he's apparently the best at everything. Man, I hear nothing but good things about this guy. Everyone says he is truly Captain America, that he's the best golfer, best basketball player, best hockey player. He's just the best at everything.
He's an absolutely wicked person.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a great father.
Yeah, for sure. And he won this competition with ease. With ease. He didn't miss a shot.
So sick.
He was so good. I think the funniest part about this was Brady Tkachuk. Was awful in it for the first 2 shots or something, which was funny, and he was really self-deprecating. Stammer too was real funny. I mentioned earlier him saying that Vegas is too cold. He's been in Florida for too long. And then obviously Joe.
Always a lot of fun at these things, like you said. There was a clip of him and his son together.
Yeah. And his kid just wanted to go see the Zamboni. That's all he wanted to go do.
To see the Zamboni, which weren't we all? That was all of us back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
So, no, it was an interesting, but what did you guys think of this event? I thought it was interesting.
I liked it.
I would do it again.
It fit the Vegas theme, and I definitely would do it again.
Yeah, it fit the theme for sure. It wasn't time consuming, which was great, and they were able to just kind of shoot the shit around it a little bit.
Yeah, the players had fun too, right?
Yeah, the players had a lot more fun.
Was having a laugh because he sucked a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then again, though, this was probably the best group for a competition of personalities we got. So
certainly
that made it easier as well, I would say.
No doubt.
But no. Anything else on this event? Anything else you guys gotta say other than what we did?
No, it's just a good event. Yeah,
perfect.
It was pretty sweet. Yeah, that's for sure. I like that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
They should. Like I said in the other pod, I hope they were able to let everybody do that. All weekend, because that's actually.
I hope they had a mini thing for the fans.
Should be playing.
And instead of the cards breaking away, just have it a sensor board where if you hit it, it just makes a sound.
Yeah, or something like that. Or
so you don't have to keep picking up pieces, is why I say
or something that just knocks down and then pops back up again.
Yeah, exactly, or something like that, or foam or whatever. But
no, it was a good idea.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was interesting. I had fun with it, so can't complain. Moving on to the final event, which was the shooting accuracy. And the winner was Sebastian Aho, who was also perfect. He got it in 10.937 seconds, and he didn't miss a shot. I thought he missed this third shot, but apparently he got just enough of it in the corner. But
got that corner.
Super saddening. Jake Gensel was so close. He had a really good run. Second. If he didn't just miss that one off the bar, he had it, but whatever.
This is always another impressive one.
Yeah, this one is just... there's always about 3 or 4 that are just
NHL players.
Yeah. Know what I found the craziest part about it? Leon Draisaitl was the worst. And they were talking about it during it, and one of the things they said, which I found interesting because I bet it's partly true, is I wonder if Leon's ever had to look at the net for all of his goals. That he just shoots because he's so good, right? And I wonder that about a lot of these players. I'm not just saying that just Leon doesn't look where he aims, but
it's I've said it before, man. It's a lot of you just knowing where the net is.
Yeah,
that's just
and when you
that's
have
scoring goals sometimes.
And I wonder, it's easier for an NHL player to score a wrist shot moving than it is standing there. Crazy enough.
Mm-hmm.
As crazy as that sounds, they do it so often. It's easier to shoot off the rush than it is not, because they don't get many chances standing still in the slot that are
unless
for a wrist shot. For a wrist shot, never. Like never unless you're moving. So that's also a big part of it. But yeah, this event, like we said, always fun. Rasmus Dahlin, man, he's got a hell of an accurate shot. Really impressed with him too. Thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, that's all we got for the competition side of it. That's all the winners I guess I listed too. So we just have the All-Star game, and like I said, I missed the All-Star games. Unfortunately, I saw who won. I saw who won MVP. But do you guys want to talk a little bit about those games?
Just Tom Wilson with a goal in 13 seconds. Who would have thought Tom Wilson?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Anything else you guys got for it? Like players who are really good, having fun, and
it was all right. I missed a little bit of one of the games and stuff. Like I don't know, I didn't watch too intently. It was all right though. It's the 3-on-3.
Yeah, it's just players kind of say it. And I saw clips of Johnny Gaudreau getting burned defensively.
Yeah, defensively. I thought that was hilarious.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty dumb that they only had one defenseman on that team. But
I know, hey.
Whatever, I guess. Not like it matters that much.
But no, it was.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time. It was obviously it was what it was. It's not going to be anything more than just kind of screwing around. They didn't.
For sure. Metro won in it versus the Central team, and Giroux won the MVP as well. If you were interested, if you guys are interested too in this, like go check it on YouTube. Like Sportsnet and stuff has all these and individual clips of it too. So if you want to skip a boring one like we mentioned or whatever the case is, go free. But yeah, I would go check it out if you guys are interested too. Even after finding out who the winners are, because there's a lot of good stuff in it. But is that what you guys got for All-Star? Because I'll give you one last chance to say what you have to say about this All-Star game before we move on.
Yep, that's all.
No, we're good.
I think we're good. Okay, sounds good. Let's move on to a little bit of news around the league and just kind of chat about that, and then we'll end off with our segment in a bit here. But let's start with the Carolina Hurricanes. Or actually, no. Well, while we're still in the All-Star game, I want to talk about Florida because it's relevant. They are set to host next year's All-Star game. So that's not a lot of news, but it's just interesting that that's where it'll be next year. So maybe we can think of some themes they can do, like a surfing theme or something. I don't know.
Yeah, gonna be mad.
do something.
Mad palm trees up.
Yeah,
in there,
man.
That's for sure.
Like you have to like sauce something over a palm tree into like a bucket. I don't know. Sounds an awful idea, but that's okay. Carolina Hurricanes, they were supposed to have a Stadium Series game this year. It's postponed to next year because of COVID problems. Didn't really add on that. They literally just said protocol problems pretty much. So, and then Boston isn't also getting a Winter Classic next year. Don't know against who. I did not see who it was. Against Fenway. Yeah.
No, it's at Fenway.
Oh, it's at Fenway. Yeah, it's at Fenway. I didn't see.
Yeah, no, they didn't name who they played.
Yeah, they haven't played. So,
and yeah, that's probably like the 900th time they've done that. That's
for
sweet.
Sure. And I have literally one more thing in news. Actually, like there wasn't much because of the All-Star game and it's pretty quiet week. Pat Verbeek was hired as GM in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about this for a minute? Because this is very relevant.
He's the old ex-wing. He was our GM for, technically our assistant GM, but our GM for our AHL team.
Yeah,
and he was doing that and
since 2019.
He's been with us for a decent bit.
Yeah, he was with you guys in 2019. He is, best way to describe him, he is Yzerman's like apprentice, pretty much. Like he is followed Yzerman pretty much everywhere and been his right hand. He was assistant to him I don't know if he was assistant, but he was definitely up in that management group in Tampa when they won, and he was there for a very long time.
Pretty sure they played together.
Yep. No, I trust this signing so much because of who he's learned off of. Now, do I think he's gonna be an Yzerman GM? Like, I don't know, obviously, but I don't think so. But you're learning from the best. I'm gonna give you a good fair run at your job if you've learned that much and won a cup as a member. As well, I cannot remember what position he had in Tampa. I'm sorry. I just know he's assistant GM in Detroit since 2019. So, but yeah, great signing for Anaheim. I think this is their GM. No.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
At least
a beauty.
At least they didn't sign like Shirelli or anything like Chicago might. So good news on all that front. Now, since there wasn't a lot of news today, I think it's a good time for you to bring up the Rangers, Chase. We got a little bit of time to bring that up before we talk about our power rankings and playoff matchups. So just a little talking point.
Yeah, it was just a random thought I had, like just looking around, like good at Zuccarello. You know, the Rangers, like look at how good all these ex-Rangers are doing. McDonough won two cups, playing just mad minutes. Like JT Miller is like the best player on Vancouver.
Yeah.
Chris Kreider is doing what he's doing, but I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting point. Like, what would happen if they kind of kept those guys and only traded like your Rick Nash and your what's his name? I can't remember.
I don't know, Brassard and stuff like that. Those guys.
Yeah, I guess Brassard would be.
There's a lot of those guys. They had a lot of kind of like Callahan, like they had for a bit. Like they had a lot of guys that were just kind of in the mix there. But
yeah, I'm just interested. Like, what would have happened? Because like
you bring that up and
the transactions that they've made, because they got quite a bit out of that Rick Nash deal.
Yeah, talk a little bit the transactions, and then we'll talk about like some stuff that probably wouldn't happen if you did keep these players, because I think there's a massive ripple effect that actually might make. I wonder if it would make the Rangers worse. So I think that's an interesting talking point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about what they kind of got and who they gave up and such. So.
Yeah, so like obviously you do that Zibanejad deal and stuff like that. That's all beautiful. Where are we? I just want to make sure I'm where I need to be here.
Yep, for sure.
Find that. Yeah, Rick Nash. So Rick Nash trade, they got Matty Bolesky retained, obviously just a dump, Ryan Spooner, but they got Ryan Lindgren.
Nice.
And a first-round pick who was Jacob Bernard Docker.
Oh, yeah. So he traded that away.
Indeed. Fuck, I just clicked
to Ottawa.
Fucking button.
What deal would that have been?
Indeed. Let me find that.
When did they trade a first-round pick to Ottawa?
Must have moved up or down. We'll get there. So, Ryan Lindgren and Jacob Bernard Docker is who they got out of that Rick Nash deal, and then the Ryan McDonough and JT Miller deal to the Lightning. Like if you would have kept those guys, you would have had. There's only Niles Lundqvist, Libor Hayek, Vlad Nemestikov, and Brett Howden.
Yeah.
So like Nemestikov, Howden, couple
probably
decent
wish
pieces
he
for
kept
sure.
Those guys,
but Libor Hayek and like Niles Lundqvist would be the only other one. So in all reality, that's not really helping you that much right now. Hey.
Nope, that's fair.
Keandre Miller. That's what it was. They traded. They moved up in that draft. They moved up
to get Miller.
Yeah, to get Miller. Moved up 4 spots to pick Keandre Miller.
So that trade was fantastic. So they got Lindgren and Keandre Miller out of it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's perfect. Then. That's a great trade. That's your left-hand side defense.
Literally, you're 1-2
literally you're 1-2 right now, that's insane.
Yeah.
So and they're 23-22. So
wow, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, like you almost don't need to do that Miller deal. That's crazy.
Honestly, I wonder if you just don't do that Miller deal and like they have a chance to like really go for it.
Yeah. Hey.
Now,
but they would have been
devil's advocate.
Good, probably.
They would have been too good to have gotten. Yeah, that's the point I was just trying to get to. There was they've been too good to get Laugh and Capo Caco probably. Hey, like because I know Laugh they were like moved up from 12th in that weird play-in, so that could still happen. Like you never know. They could lose that first round.
Yeah, exactly.
And get laughed. So that is a possibility. I'm not willing to write that completely off, unless they got top 4. Then it is, obviously. But
and like, what are the picks that were? The picks behind them. You know, like the picks behind him though. Like the next guy I picked after Kako was Kirby Dach, Bowen Byram, Turcotte, Seider, Dylan Cousins, Broberg, Zegras. Like, and if they ended up in the bottom 9, that wouldn't have been too bad. I guess we go a little bit later.
9 is the difference, right?
We go a little bit later. There's still like Peyton Krebs, Newhook, Caulfield, Spencer Knight, Matt Boldy, Victor Soderstrom, Lassie Thompson, Thomas Harley on Dallas. So they still probably would have ended up with at least a notable
guy, hopefully.
A notable dude.
Unless you fuck up in that, obviously, for sure they did.
Unless you trade your first round pick. But yeah, let's get to like Zuccarello, man. Like the Zuccarello trade was just a second and a third round pick.
That's crazy.
Which is
it's Matthew crazy Robertson. To think some of these deals that went through when looking at the deals that happen now.
Yeah, it's the crazy thing about draft picks, right? Like you never really know.
They're so much more valuable now than they used to be. Like so much more valuable, and I don't know when that just randomly happened. Like it just 1 year, it just flipped.
It's just like 1 year, exactly.
Where like everyone everyone in this is so good. Increased. Yeah, probably that 20.
Yeah, everybody got all high and mighty because these kids are, or some of these kids are popping out so quick. Hey, and it's like it's technically pretty normal in all reality. We're just getting a little more excited because I'm sure the percentage is up a little bit more. Yeah. So
and I think they're getting more chance. Like, that's a big thing. Like, rookies back in the early 2000s, you get one fuck up. You mess up once, and you're benched. Now, if you're a top 5 pick, you get a month, 2 weeks of a runway of messing up before they're like, hey, you're done. Like, you're sent down. You're so bad, right? They give you real chances that they never did.
Yeah, no
so
doubt.
That's a reason why it's changed with draft pick value.
Yeah, so with the Zuccarello deal, like it is a second and a third round pick. I know Matthew Robertson kind of, but not really. Like, do you?
Yeah, I know a little bit about him.
I want to say he's American. I have no idea, honestly.
He played in the Dub.
I don't remember his name.
I can't remember if he's American or Canadian. He's a lefty man. He was touted to be a top 4 guy. He's slowly sliding down the pendulum with all these D-men and the Rangers.
Yeah. But, another D-man. Hey,
but
playing for the Wolfpack right now.
He's definitely
a prospect,
solid.
I guess. And
he's just solid.
Oliver Tarstrom, so they got a couple.
He's like a Jet
random.
Woo. Like a Jet Woo type prospect. Oh, yeah. Like maybe he'll be an NHL player, but he'd be super fast. Difference is, I guess, Jet Woo's right-handed, but.
Yeah, so just another deal that really probably didn't need to happen unless you, like, obviously have money problems, but I think your money problems could have been fixed by letting go of Rick Nash and Kevin Hayes, maybe. I'm not really too sure on exactly the cap of the situation, but the next move they made was Kevin Hayes to the Jets.
That was
they got back.
First?
They got back a Brendan Lemieux and a conditional first round pick that ended up being Ville Heinola.
Yeah, that was great.
So how did they get that back? They traded for Neil. The Jets took that pick back and
for
got
Trouba.
Pionk for Trouba.
Yep, that was a
wowie. So you almost have to do that.
They got the better right-handed like D-man, the Jets, and Heinola. That's a crazy trade.
So yeah, I guess we're just. I guess honestly, I'm just simply saying, if you just don't trade that Tampa, if you don't make that Tampa deal, like
don't make that Tampa deal, don't make that Trouba deal, and I think you're in a better position.
Yeah. Like honestly, you could have probably ended up trading somebody away once Panarin became a UFA, and he actually wanted to play on your. Would have played on your team. Yeah, I'm sure you would have moved somebody else, like a Zuccarello or something like that. But that can be a thing that's forced upon you instead of they really did it was. I'm not saying this was a bad idea. Obviously, they're in the position they're in. I'm just like looking around, like, man, look how.
What if he didn't do this? Right?
How these players are are lighting it up for their teams. Like I dubbed Zuccarello an all-star because of how he's been playing, and ever since with Kaprizov, those guys are just a duo. They're a duo in the league now. It's really cool to see. And with Miller, like I said, being the best player on Vancouver. Like let's be serious with the Rangers in his whole career. Nobody saw that coming, you know.
No.
I loved JT Miller when he was with the Rangers. Like I thought they underutilized him. I thought he was great at all aspects, but he was there was one of those teams that they had 3 lines. Like that was just how the Rangers were set up. So it just seemed like he was stuffed a little bit down. But yeah, you gave this guy playing time in Tampa, and the guy just blew up and became something else. So yeah,
no, for sure. There's a lot that can be done with this Rangers team. They made a lot of big moves and a lot of team altering moves. It seemed like, which is kind of nuts. How many they've been a part of? Like, pretty much
a lot.
Like given Tampa 2 elite players for like comparably nothing now. Looking at how it turned out for both those players, like that was a terrible deal for the Rangers. That's the worst deal I think I've seen them make.
Exactly.
Right?
Like I love all 4 of these Nemestikov, Howden, Hayjack, and Lundqvist pieces, but these are just like pretty regular pieces you can like sign randomly and like shit like that. You know, like this isn't like trade for a guy like Lundqvist, but
he's probably the anomaly. He's probably the anomaly out of that, where he could realistically become a big top 4 D man, like a really good top 4 D man. But no, I agree with you for sure.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy what the Rangers could be and how good they are now.
Dude, these guys had Ryan Graves too. Traded him to Colorado for Chris Bagris.
Man, that's interesting. Wow. It's so intriguing to find out like who had what players as prospects and draft them. I always forget.
You look at players at like near the end of their career and you see they were drafted somewhere really weird.
Yeah, like Sam Girard was drafted by Nashville. Like that one is just always one that I think about randomly. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a weird draft pick by Nashville.
Wasn't Big Z drafted by
He was a Duchesne trade. What's that?
Wasn't Big Z drafted by Buffalo?
No, Islanders, I think.
Oh, was he an Islanders draft?
Yeah,
I can remember the Islanders
versus But like nobody who is around my age and younger, I should say, knew that because he was a Bruin our whole life growing up. Yeah. So like I never knew he wasn't drafted in a full-time Bruin in his career. I never knew that until like.
It's so funny how we bring up the trades that we brought up, but like in all reality, the trades that changed the league are these 1-for-1 deals where you trade Ryan Spooner for Ryan Strome, and now you have a second line center.
You change turn one into a second line center and one into a second line ECHL center.
It's something that happened a lot with Benning, like being on the losing side of those 1-for-1 deals, like.
Yeah, he wasn't good one-on-one, whether it was contracts, trades, anything.
he liked money and moving money.
Oh, he definitely liked putting an extra zero on every contract. Like he loved paying people. It made him feel so good about himself.
Man, that's so crazy. What was the other draft? What was the draft that Laffy was in? Was that 2020,
right? 20.
Yeah,
2020
it was.
Yeah, because Jackie was 2019.
Then, after Laffy, so that was like Byfield, Stutzel, Raymond, Sanderson, Drysdale, Holtz. Because like I guess this team still would have been pretty good, so they would have been at least fighting for a playoff spot probably this whole time.
Yeah,
they were, if not close to. Yeah, so they would be.
Well, the Laff year was the.
They might have stole your Hendrix Lapierre there, Jordan, or like got a Shakir Mukhamadullin.
Yeah.
Braden Schneider.
If they would have gotten
Braden Schneider in that
year, if they would have made top 4 and didn't lose first round. So it's really the Laff one I'm willing to give them. I know that one's like kind of like questionable, but like that one's the easiest one to give them for them because it was they jumped up like 10, 11 spots to get it. Like.
Yeah, and that's understandable not getting Laffy, and I don't really see that as being
I understand not
they're going to be a great team in the future. I think you could have gotten by getting a other random kind of sort of guy. There's a lot of good picks actually.
There's a lot of decent prospects out there that are still
that should be pretty good. But I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we're not saying the Rangers did anything wrong by it. It's just interesting to look back that they could have potentially have won a cup if they'd kept some of these guys. And I know that's a lot of what ifs and a lot of stuff happened that we didn't think would happen. We didn't think JT Miller would be a legit top 6 problem for other teams. We didn't think Ryan McDonough was still gonna be like number one D-man level. We didn't know Trouba was worse than Pionk.
Yeah, we didn't realize
like there was so much stuff that happened. We didn't know the cap was gonna stay flat. Like that's a big thing that happened.
With McDonough, it was worrisome about skating and stuff like that, and like, oh man, like, is he gonna be able to, like, he can't take over the power play duties anymore. That was the big thing for the Rangers. Like, well, we need somebody to take over the actual power play duties, and that's probably more or less why they moved on from him, because he became more of the defensive rolled guy. And
they were trying to
what's wrong with that? Like, why couldn't you just stayed around and played like 20 some minutes, and play that defensive role? So it's just trippy.
They made all the right decisions, and like, I mean, they also fell on, like, a couple players fell in their lap. Like Fox fell directly on the Rangers' lap. Like,
another beautiful trade for them.
I don't even think you can call that a beautiful trade, as you're lucky you are the biggest city in the world, pretty much. Like honestly, the Adam Fox factor. You got the second best right-handed defenseman in the NHL for free because he grew up being a Rangers fan. Like, what goose egg did you have to pray for months to get that? Like, that's insane.
Kind of cool that like the picks or the guys that the Hurricanes got out of that was that goalie Mads Søgaard, and I think he's the German guy Noel Gunler, unless he's the Swedish guy.
Yeah, he's
so like those are actually not too terrible prospects.
He's Swedish, but that's actually pretty good.
Like you said,
we knew they were all gonna lose those trades. Like Fox was a piece in the trade with Lindholm and Skinner. Like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think there's a lot of factors with the Rangers being good now, obviously, like that. But yeah, they could have been. I agree with you.
I wonder what would have happened. Yeah, like I wonder how they could have and what they would have done.
I wonder if I can pull up like an old NHL video game from that year. Not make those trades, make the proper ones, and then just sim it up to this point and see what NHL says at 2016 or whatever. And then just do like a quick YouTube video. That'd be interesting to do, maybe. But no, I agree with that point. But should we jump into our final segment, our power ranking segment? Because we have enough time for it, obviously, but getting a little closer on time.
Sure.
So in our 30 minutes talk about this. Now, which direction do we want to go with power ranks? Are we going from 32 to 1 or 1 to 32?
I don't know. I was just talking about who's in and out, man.
Okay.
Give us the top.
Well, I have who's the playoffs, and then we'll go by groups of 5, obviously. But do we want to go backwards or forwards?
I think probably go back or go front to back.
Let's go front to back this time. Then we'll go the best teams to the worst teams. So. We'll go in same group. Let's start. We'll go Jordan, Chase, me. Or does that work? Or do you want me to start it or what?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Jordan, you start us off. Who's your number 1 to 5? And then give like brief one-line explanations.
All right. Number 1, I've got the Avs. I think we all will.
Yeah.
2, I've got the Panthers. That's pretty self-explanatory. 2, 3, I've got the Canes. They've been red hot. 4, I've got the Lightning. They have the best goalie in the league.
Yep.
And 5, I've got the Wild, who have been on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Chase, what do you got for us?
The Wild. Ooh, woo. Hey, that's nice. I actually have Florida number 1 just because I've been taking them the whole time. Even though it looks quite clear that like Colorado's just a goddamn beast. Hey, like their winning percentage is like just dumb right now. But yeah, Colorado 2. I got Carolina 3. Tampa Bay 4. I haven't moved them all year, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And then Vegas, I got at 5, and I don't think I've moved them from there. I think I moved them up a couple times from last time we did this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No. Awesome.
I'm keeping them at 5 because I'm sure they'll start picking up the old pace.
No, absolutely. Might as well just pretty much carbon copy Jordan's, and that's mine, because I got one change with his, but it's literally a swap between second and third. So I got Colorado 1, self-explanatory, best team in the league. 2, I've got Carolina. I think it's their coach for me. I think they'll do better slightly towards the end. Florida 3, though, like, they're just the deepest team in the NHL. Tampa Bay, Vasilevsky and Hedman are your team. You are instantly a top 5 team. And 5, Minnesota Wild as well. Like you said, they're just so good offensively.
Yeah, they're so fun
good
right now.
But yeah, well, shall we move on to our 6 to 10 now? What do you got for us, Jordan?
6 to 10. Here we go. 6, I've got everybody's favorite Toronto Maple Leafs.
Nice.
Good, but they're the Leafs, so
yeah.
7, I've got the Pens. I've been super impressed with the Pens, especially as of late. So
me too. Me too.
Quite high. At 8, I have New York Rangers. The Rangers have Chris Kreider, and he's the best goal scorer in the league right now. So
clip that. Clip that. Sorry. Go on.
At 9, we've got the Flames. The Flames have been on fire, as you'd think, right? They've got Markstrom, who's got the most shutouts in the league. They've been scoring goals like it's fucking nobody's business.
They had a little bit of a slump there for a bit, but I'm pretty sold.
I think they got out of it. I think they're feeling.
Oh yeah, they're
good.
out of it. That's why I was saying they had.
At 10, I've got St. Louis.
Interesting.
So
okay.
I wasn't sure where to put the Blues, but I definitely think they deserve to be top 10.
Fair enough.
That's actually exactly where I have the Blues. But I'll start with.
Let's see what you guys got. What do you got, Chase?
Minnesota.
At 6,
at number 6.
Not far off of us.
Yeah, so they have climbed up another spot for me. Like, I think at the start of the year, this is up 12 spots from the start of my predictions.
But I love this team so much that I kind of want to bet them to go to the Cup final.
Yeah, man.
Dead ass. This team.
Yeah, I've flipped my ideas. That's for sure. I'm heavily more on these guys winning the Cup when it comes to my random prediction from the start of the year, but I can get into that later because that's just devastating. Toronto Maple Leafs at 7, number 8 and 9. I got Washington and then Pittsburgh because I still think Washington's gonna get back going and
then St.
get going. This is their slump time, and they were like 500. I watched Edmonton go through a slump, and they were like 2-9-1. So
no, I agree.
I think Washington's doing all right for their slump. And also they haven't really been truly healthy for the first half of the year. So
fair enough.
We'll see how they do. Like I said, Pittsburgh 9, and then I got St. Louis 10 because they're a beast. They're another team that actually went up for me. They're technically up 7 spots. I kind of thought they'd have more of a shakier year, and they've been pretty bulletproof. And I'm pretty sure with the acquisition,
mark team whether they would gel or not. Right? Like
I was a little worried about the defense because, obviously, I think Marco Scandella was technically lined up to be there in their top 4, which is not exactly what they wanted after losing Dunn. So I don't know. I was just a little bit worried about that, but they seem to be nothing but great, and they have the ability to actually trade for somebody probably and make that team a lot better. So I see them hitting that number 10 spot.
Yep, absolutely. Fair enough.
Moving up 3 spots since my last time. So
nice.
Believing more and more in the Blues.
Yeah, I got pretty similar to, pretty similar to Jordan for the first bit again. At 6, again, just a little swap. I got Pittsburgh at 6. I've been so impressed with this team. I don't know. This is the best team I've seen Pittsburgh since the Cup. Wins. They've been so good. I got nothing but good things to say, so I gotta have them that high, especially when I'm at 15 last time. I got Toronto at 7. Their offense is just Marner is just on a tear, obviously. Matthews is so
Marner
good.
was not happy with the things people were saying.
No, not at all, clearly. Number 8, I got the New York Shishjerkins, and that's why I have them at 8, because he's just the best goalie in the league right now. Like, he keeps their defense in every game. 9, I got Vegas. I think Eichel will be back soon. Like, I'm hearing he could be back, like, in the next couple weeks, potentially.
Wow.
Like, after All-Star break, they're potentially looking at him doing having contact. Allowed contact. So that'd be great. So I have Vegas at 9. I just think they're a little behind the 8 ball. They were at the start, where I don't think they're just gonna like dominate the last half of the season, but they're gonna be so good, I think. But these teams are just. And then 10, I got Washington, because again, like Chase said, I think they should still be in there. I dropped them off from last. I think I'm at like 5 last time. They've slipped a little bit because I haven't been impressed with the goaltending, honestly. So that's why they slipped. But they're still a wagon, and Ovi's fucking Ovi. So
that's fair.
What do you guys got from Jordan at 11 to 15?
11 to 15. 11, I have Vegas. Yeah. Like you said, they should be getting Eichel back, and I mean, even without Eichel, Vegas is still a fucking wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mark Stone, baby.
At 12,
yeah, like I got Vegas at like 5 here.
Oh yeah, like we have a low. Well, it's sheerly because in the regular season, I think the East is going to tear everyone apart, like everyone at the tail end, because it's just so good, and like Vegas is
technically Vegas has to really pick up their
they need to be like insanely good to be in the top 6, 7. So that's why I have them 9.
The other thing that I'm thinking as well is like I don't know if these top teams are going to stick at types of winning percentages as they have right now, because I don't know.
We're not going to get these right.
I looked a few years back, and like I'm not trying to like I just looked a few years back, and it seems like the points percentage is a lot lower with the top teams than it is right now. Like the top guys are just like crazy. Like Colorado's almost hitting a 0.8. It's a 0.77. Carolina's at like 0.762. Like I don't know. I don't think I saw anybody over 7.5 when I looked. Yep. So, but I couldn't go back for very long, which was kind of weird. I don't know why. Obviously, they haven't had that stat in there for very long. But I'm just thinking that maybe they'll drop down, and that's why Vegas will be able to pop up a little bit, because they won't have to reach like a 0.8 points percentage.
Yeah, to me though, there's 3 sections of the league, right? There's the bad part of the league, which is around 24-ish, 25-ish down. And then there's the top end of the league, which is about 12 up, 13 up. Like, that's the difference. Like, there's the middle, who are just all good teams in the mix there. So that's the issue, is these top teams are so good. These bottom teams are looking so bad at times. And the average teams are going to continue to be average. So maybe a little bit better here and there from another team. But yeah. Sorry, Jordan, you had Vegas 11.
Yeah, Vegas 11. I've got 12. The Capitals at 12.
Ooh. Taking a little hometown drop-off there.
I'm the harshest on the Caps here.
I like that. Yeah, no, I get that, though. Because, look, I put Pittsburgh last time at 15. I'm at 6 this time. Like, I undervalued them big time.
I've been watching the Caps over the last month or so, and they've not been good. So I guess that's why the recency bias.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of recency bias for sure, but that's okay. That's our harshest critic is your own fans. And
exactly,
as it should
because
be.
You know the most about it, and you expect a lot usually.
Yep. Oh yeah, ask Chase. I text him a couple times when Pittsburgh losing games or playing bad, and I'm just flipping out, seeming like the season is done. And it's not even that, like, I'm just disappointed because I expect more.
Yeah.
So
exactly, it's your team, right?
Yep. So anyway, sorry. Off of Washington there. What do you got at 13? Right.
13. I've got the Ducks.
Yeah. Cool. By the way, this range I struggled with.
Yeah.
This after range like 13, 14, I struggled.
It was like 13 to like 21 were tough for me.
Yeah, 13 to 20
14,
for me.
I've got the Predators.
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree. A little high, but I'm gonna stick to my gun.
That's okay.
No, it's not. It's not really crazy. No,
I don't think it's that crazy either. Actually,
at 15, I have Dallas.
Interesting. I think that's a little high, actually.
I've been super impressed with that top line.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that top line is one, if not the best line right now, it's one of the top three.
No,
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
I think Robertson.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, that line's been fantastic. For sure.
And that Ben line has actually, like,
it's
Ben, Sagan, and Guriano, picked up a little bit. Like, it's not that they're consistent, like I've said before, but they're at least showing up, like, somewhat consistently. You know, as a second line, that's at least consistent. You know, you don't actually have to show up every game, but
for sure. I just have, I don't know.
I got him one spot lower than you do. You said 15, Jordan?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
You said 15 for Dallas?
Yeah, 15 for the Stars.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
So
no, I got them at 16, so I'll squeeze my 11 is where I'm starting here. 11 is where I have Calgary. I got the Alberta boys hanging out together at 11 and 12. Yeah, Calgary I think is going to make a little bit of a nice move to bolster their D a little bit, maybe squeeze a certain type of player in their forward group that it's going to make sure this team gets into the playoffs. I really do. Yep. I don't think there's a chance they're going to let this slip out of their hands, especially the way they're playing.
They know that this is a big opportunity for them.
Yeah. And like I said, Edmonton at 12. I think they'll get themselves out of this. 13. I got the Rangers moving up 2 spots for me.
That's crazy. You have moved up. Like,
so I have them moving up +3 over time, because at the start of the year I had them at like 15 or 16 or something like that, just so outside of the playoffs.
Fair enough.
And now I have them at 13. I still am going with my random belief that they're going to slide a little bit here. And
I've been waiting for Shesterkin to shit the bed, and it's just until that happens, it won't happen.
Yeah, I'm just assuming like, Shesterkin will have one off month. That's like not.
I know, and I've been
a 930 save percentage.
It's very fair.
It's with Chris Kreider. Now I regret
it. You better not fucking carry that.
Oh my god! I hope Shesterkin wins like Vezina, breaks shatters records now, just because Chase is like he's got a really shitty month. I hope we all just eat our words so bad this year. Yeah. Like Jordan already has admitted it at least.
And it's gonna be the worst take.
I hope it's the opposite way. I hope I eat my words and the Rangers somehow miss the playoffs. Because then at least I was somewhat right at the start of the year. But there's
don't think that's happening.
There is no life after this team that I have next, and 14 right behind the Rangers is Boston. They're good. I had them very high actually at the start of the year. They've actually technically dropped 8 spots from the start, which is kind of funny because they Toronto has basically swapped with Toronto with me. So the fact that Toronto's done as well as they have, they've taken over my thought of what I thought Boston might be. But we all know that Boston just nothing's truly clicked all year, and that's why they're in this position. And they need a little bit more punch is what they need. So I'm gonna keep them just so getting in the playoffs on the east side, but still being part of that top scary 8. My 15 team is the Nashville Predators, though. The Nashville Predators getting that first wild card spot. There's just, I want to take them out. They have a real tough schedule, but they have cap space, and I think they might make a move. I don't see them
and Saros is another goalie I do not see slowing down. Not enough to be. Saros. I don't see him slowing down enough to where this team has a deficiency that can be super exploited. It's not like he's gonna concede more than 3 a night typically. So, I don't know. I'm totally cool with that for sure. I agree. For me, at 11, I got St. Louis. You guys mentioned they had to be in the top 10. I slipped them out barely, and they're right around there. Like you guys mentioned, they should be around there, and that's why I struggled putting them 11. Honestly, I really did. But I looked at all the other teams ahead. I'm like,
they are.
I don't really think there's anyone there. Ahead yet. So I got Nashville at 12 though. So like you guys saying, I think they're a little early at like 13. I flip and switch big time on Nashville considering how I started the year with them. But like Duchesne's starting to score, and that's what they've needed. They needed one guy to start scoring with like Forsberg and stuff. and they started to, and I don't see it slowing down. I see it slowing down a little bit, but I think they're gonna get, like Chase said, they have cap space. I think they'll get scoring help. Their defense is amazing, and Roman Yossi's like so underrated half the time. Like I know I go back and forth between like four guys being the best defenseman in the NHL, like Makar, Hedman, Yossi, and Fox, but like they are. They're each week.
To me, it just seems because like we have like actual guys in their prime. Like Yossi and Hedman are in their prime. Like they're at peak playing. Like when you watch them, they are the best defense because they're playing that. Like they are playing as good as a person themselves can play. So like exactly. It's hard to pick between these guys or anything like that and say one guy's better because
and they're
like
all
in reality
different
they're
things
playing the best they could be possibly playing. Like,
they're also completely talent. Like their skill sets so different things. All four.
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
So, like by the way, just breaking news. This literally just came in. Jack Eichel is set to returning to contact practice for the Golden Knights officially. So it looks like he's coming back in a week or two, like soon. That's insane.
So close to my Olympic call, man. He almost would have played in the Olympics.
I know, hey? Would have been close. I still think he would have. Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have risked it.
Probably would have risked it. But, sorry, I was at Nashville at 12. I'm just so high on them. Calgary 13. I wanted to put them over Nashville, but like I said, Calgary I see slumps coming, but not big enough where they're, like, out of a playoff spot or not playing good hockey. I just see moments where they're, like, dogging it a little bit, right? So I think they'll just be at 13. LA at 14. This one I'm looking at, I've been looking at this all morning and thinking, fuck, that's so high for LA.
That is
14 is so high for LA. But I'll tell you my reasoning. And
that's in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, it is. And that's the crazy part they're in. I have it because of Drew Doughty. And I have it because they were fantastic to start the season when Drew Doughty was in. He gets injured. They sucked. And I mean sucked, where they lost the majority of their games in that span. Drew Doughty came back, and they instantly flipped back to playing the way they are. Everyone has a reason to fight hard every night, because they're fighting for a spot on the lineup. They have 17 forwards that can be in the NHL lineup right now. And obviously you can only have 12 or 13. And defensively, they have about 7 or 8. So I like their depth. I feel like they're just a sneaky team to have a good year. Quick is just a resurgence year. I think they're just going to blow people out of the water this last couple months for an unknown reason. They're my wild card team, basically, to make a random jump. 15.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and they can add too if they want. If they want to add someone real with term, they can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's why they are actually my highest non-playoff team, because I think that they can make the biggest difference.
The team that misses for me, I'm heartbroken about. So don't get me wrong. I'm
actually very worried about like the Pacific teams in Calgary and Edmonton actually pulling this off because of what LA could possibly pull off. Like they have
all the teams
have
in the Pacific.
Dan O cure. Dan O brought that fucking team to the Stanley Cup playoff or final. So.
And that's another thing. They have the two best defensive centers, arguably, in the league. Like, I know Bergeron and Barkov, but, like, still, like, the best tandem. Yeah. And Kopitar and Dano, like, come on.
Yeah, dude, like, Kopitar is actually a Selke nomination sort of guy. He's
he's been having a great year.
If Dano could ever get that many points, he'd always get this award.
Yep.
Or that award.
Always. Yeah, if he could honestly get, like, 60 points a year, he would win the Selke every year. 60, 70 points.
I would think so.
And 15, I got Boston because they're always there. They're gonna be the best last team in the East to make playoffs for sure. Yeah, like so. But yeah, moving on to the last team, last playoff team. I guess we're gonna be announcing here. I'm intrigued to hear who your guys' last playoff team is, but Jordan, go from 16 down to 20, and then after 20, do we just want to rifle the rest? 12? I think the end of it should be pretty solid. Yeah, sure. So we'll go 15 to 20, and then after we'll go the rest of the league. So Jordan, you go 15 or 16. Sorry, what is your 16 team?
So 16, I have the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice, just squeezing in there.
Yeah,
it was definitely a battle between them and my 17th pick, which is Boston.
Yeah.
Like I'm still teetering between the two, but I'm gonna stick with the Oilers.
Well, Boston would have to get in based on East.
Say that again.
There's not enough teams in the East, I think, right? Boston naturally has to get in with how many teams are in the East, I think. Do you have 8 teams in the East? Because they have to get in, is what I'm saying. Because, like, they didn't, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's just a power ranking, so Boston could definitely make it over them.
Well, I'm saying they do because you can't have 9 Western teams and 7 Eastern teams, right?
Yeah.
They would be the 8th Eastern. And we have the playoff matchups to look after, so. Yeah, sorry, go on.
All right, well, I'll swap that then. I'll say Bruins at 16.
Well, it doesn't matter where they are statistically. It just means, based on conference. Just based on conference, they'd be a playoff position. Yeah,
so it's not too big of a deal. Bruins at 16, Oilers at 17. Then I've got the Kings at 18.
Yeah,
I've really liked the Kings, especially since Doughty has come back from that injury. That was really where they were struggling, was when they were missing Doughty.
Yeah, exactly.
At 19, I've got the Nucks. Obviously, since Bruce has come in, they've been a whole different team.
Yeah.
And at 20, I have San Jose. I definitely would have pegged them lower, but I've been impressed with Carlson before his injury. And
true. Shame that he's out for the rest of the year.
So. I would like to see that team do good.
Yeah, I don't see the goal.
Not that I have him up there.
Not confident in that goaltending, honestly. That's my only reasoning. No. But yeah, Chase, what do you got for us from 16, your last playoff spot, to 20?
Okay, well, 16, I've got my boys, RoboCop, Pavelski, and Hintz, the old Dallas Superstars. Team I was super high on at the start of the year. They've dropped 11 spots since my first rankings. I had them real high, and yeah, I think they're gonna pull this off. I think they're gonna be able to make some moves here. I think they have the ability to kind of twist the team up a little bit and still come out of it pretty good. But I am still worried about that. They're 16 for a reason, and that is because of what I kind of said about LA. I think LA could come out of the deadline much stronger than the Dallas Stars could, and possibly squeeze them out. So yeah, that's my next team, is the LA Kings at 17, the last sitting there on the outside, nipping at the heels of the Stars and the Nashville Predators. What do we got? I think I have them up. Yeah, quite a bit. Up 6 spots from the start of my first rankings, but up 10 this ranking. So obviously last time they were in that low with no Doughty and stuff like that. So, so that's good. I don't know. It looks good. Like the whole trade deadline and everything. I think there's no way they're not gonna be in the conversation. Next I have is the Winnipeg Jets. Sound the alarm. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, trust me. You have to sound the alarm for mine for a couple of teams. So.
Oh, buddy, I'm so sad. I'm so sorry. I feel so dumb, but I also don't feel so dumb because I now have them out of a playoff spot. And this is what I was getting at earlier. This is a team that has completely disappointed me and just destroyed me. But it's the Paul Maurice effect, man. I think that's truly what it was. Like, how do you even get over that? Like, he was there and he walks away and it didn't help, and it's just been nothing good and nothing consistent, and it's scaring me.
It's always been nothing consistent is the issue. Like, the underlying issue is the same thing, but they don't have as good of a coach. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't have as good of a coach to get through the inconsistencies now. Like, that's what makes Winnipeg like such a frustrating team. Yeah. They have all the talent. They had the right coach. They had the right goalie. They had everything they needed, except for what's between their ears. And they just don't have the mental strength like the Leafs.
Yeah, not a year for Hellebuck to have a bad year.
Yeah,
which he's, to his standards, he is having a bad year. But yeah, man, like I've dropped him 16 spots since my original rankings. Like that's so bad. I had him so high. Like holy shit, dude. Dropped him 12 spots. I still believed in him halfway or 25 games in. Man, I feel so bad, and I'm so sad for this team. Like that shook the world. That shook their world, and they're not shaking that off.
No.
But I think they can still. I think they'll make adjustments. I don't think they'll just straight sell super hard. They may trade a Cop or a Stasny and maybe move on from a D-man or something, but I don't think it's anything that's going to like destroy them or anything like that. They're going to want to get somebody back or something. I think they'll still be a good team, and
I want think maybe them to pick a new captain
with less pressure.
Yeah,
playing with a little bit less pressure. Maybe they fucking loosen up a little bit and just play some hockey near the end.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty crazy. New captain, no doubt.
I would very much like to replace Wheeler. I'm not a fan of Blake Wheeler captain anymore. I really am not. The game is
looking at it.
changing. I get it. He would have been a great leader for if the game was still in the 2000s, but we're not. I think we need they need a more modern leader who.
I was looking at their setup here, and honestly, I think you take like a little retool, rebuild year next year, make some moves at this deadline, sell some guys, and
sell some D-man and maybe pick up some other D-man. Sell Dylan if you can at the deadline. Maybe Schmidt
Dylan,
if someone
DeMello,
will take someone.
Schmidt.
And then rebuild that defense again. Like, honestly, that's what they're going to do for years until they figure it out. That's why they suck. One of the reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I wonder if you do something big shake-up trade like a Morrissey or a Pionk, one of the two. I know that's crazy to say, but like that's your defense. You need to change the look of your defense with how it plays. It's been a couple of years of this. I think you need a new face of it, if I'm being honest. I love Josh Morrissey. I really, really like Josh Morrissey.
Yeah, like I said about them getting Chychrun, like they need to get somebody. They probably need to push for something. So
the more and more we're looking at, I think Chychrun is a must.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so they're like I said, you're gonna trade some guys away.
Honestly,
take your time for a year and see what's out there and see what you can pick up and who's free agent and what you can actually
pick
get.
up as many draft picks you can at the deadline for players you don't want to keep around. And then trade them to Arizona for Chychrun.
Yeah, like you got to understand, like this is a pretty decent position. It's nice being able to acquire draft picks and kind of retool quick because you have a draft coming up right away, and then you just have your sort of off year where you're rebuilding, trying to get things back together, and you have a whole other draft.
You just try and find
free agencies. You got 2 drafts to deal with. That's a lot of stuff that can happen and change your direction. So. Sort of jump on the Jets so much, but that kills me.
No, I get it.
I have them as a Stanley Cup team, and this is just dropped. Like it just every step of the way, it went 2 steps back, and I just feel so bad for these guys, and I'm sad to give up on them because I didn't want to honestly, but
I agree.
Had to. Probably should have put a little bit more weight on the Ducks and put the Ducks over, but I did put the Ducks at 19. For obvious reasons. They're kind of same situation as the Kings. They could make a quick move that could really turn this team around. I just see this big move being less likely.
Yeah, I don't see them making a move. Yeah, I don't see them really making.
They can wait.
I see them maybe selling. I keep hearing Josh Manson's name, and I don't understand it because they love Josh Manson. And I'm very confused.
He is their captain to me. I love him there. I hear he is like their captain to them.
And
but
he's
like,
mean,
I heard that
right-handed, two-way. Like he's perfect.
His modified no trade or whatever. One of the trade teams is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like he doesn't want to. Doesn't even want to go home to the Maple Leafs.
Too uncommon, you know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that just really don't want to deal with that kind of a market.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's just weird that like we've been talking and not even us, I guess. It's just more I've heard rumors about him going to the Leafs. Like people are creating rumors.
The insiders are doing it. No, it's the insiders. They're like, how come they're not doing this? It makes sense. It's like it doesn't when Anaheim wants Manson. And their answer to that every time is, oh, well, they need to make tough decisions. Not on the right. Their right side will be him and Drysdale for the next 5 years. Like,
exactly.
Shattenkirk is... How old is Shattenkirk? 33? 34?
He's past his 30s, so like...
He's not a guy that's relevant to talk about the future. So, I don't understand where they come from. Where are you getting this magical defensive right-hand defenseman that isn't Josh Manson?
Yeah,
and no prospects on the right side other than...
and in all reality, like with Lindholm getting traded, like or Fowler, like what's really the point? Like, what are your other defensemen ready to play right now?
No.
Like I see you guys playing this random Brendan, what's that guy, Giroux or something like that, or Benoit. Like he's not like an amazing prospect or something like that. Like,
no,
you know, I don't.
No, he's not. Yeah. Like he's just a guy there. Like
I know they have other guys like. Dooley or something like that, but like none of these guys are like
and such. But
like, these guys aren't actually ready. Mahar is probably the closest one, and he's a right-handed guy to take over probably fucking Shattenkirk. Like,
exactly. So
there's no reason to make moves on their defense in all reality, unless you're planning on getting somebody else back. Which like
all they have to do is pay Lindholm and pay Manson. So
as long as Lindholm doesn't want a ridiculous amount of money, which he hasn't been able to clamor or do anything to like ask for. Really,
and if it seems like he does, and if it seems like you're not going to get it, then you do trade him at the deadline and use that asset to make another move or sign a D-man, I think. You're not in a position where if you miss the playoffs because of a Lindholm trade, it's not like it's the end of the world because you weren't expected to be there. But no, for sure. That
my
was
last
your
20 team. 20 team is the Islanders. I know I'm going to be wrong about that one, but I have them up there because I do think they should have a better second half, and I'm not sure if they're giving up yet. And honestly, this team's got enough forwards that if they trade a Bailey or somebody, like, they're not going to be that much worse. Like,
for sure.
I think they'll find their way. The East isn't too scary, and I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm going to be so wrong about that 20. Like,
no, for sure.
They might. They could really fall off the cliff, like losing against Seattle, not scoring goals. Like this is
that's bad.
It is getting worrisome. Like there was some hope there, but that hope's fading. Like right now, like, if there's like the next several games to 10 games, like I could be completely giving up on this team and like dropping them down to like bottom 10 instead of somewhere around inching back to a somewhat playoff conversation.
Funny you say that because I have them bottom 10.
Yeah, no doubt.
Anyways, moving on to mine. I got at number 16, I got the Edmonton Oilers. I think they're just going to make it in. McDavid will somehow figure it out. I got Anaheim at 17. This one heartbroke me. Like, I really want to put Anaheim in because I love this team. I love how they play. Like I said many times, they're like a younger version of Pittsburgh. So it's just exciting for me to watch the same brand of hockey. It's just a different uniform, right? I love this team, but they got some big decisions to make. I don't know. LA, for whatever reason, I was like, they just got maybe a little more of that opportunity to take a higher spot.
They have like they can actually like make a beefy move. The team wants to make a beefy move.
That's
like really,
they're in a better playoff position than Anaheim. Is basically where we're at. They're a year ahead of Anaheim in the schedule, which they should because they
Getzlaf can say whatever he wants about going for a cup and wanting. Oh,
they're gonna try to make playoffs. They're gonna try and make playoffs and try and win, but.
Yeah. But if Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty, who are playing like still at like the top of their game, are asking for that, you will do it for those guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of. I think you're right. I think they have every more reason and also the prospects and stuff to just quickly and easily do something that doesn't impact the team.
Exactly. They have so many. LA has so many prospects, so many forwards that can jump in now, so many defense that can jump in now. Like as long as Quick can hold up or Peterson can step up a bit. Then I'm sold on LA.
And that's the other thing, hey? 2 goalies. Like, they're going to make the playoffs probably based off of the fact that they're playing 2 goalies instead of, like, relying on one guy. As long as
Peterson steps up a little bit more, absolutely. But anyways, moving on. 18, I got Dallas Stars. I get you, Jordan, funny enough, you gave the exact reason I have him at 18. That one line. That's not enough for me. And this team is so underwhelming. And so disappointing. And this is my Winnipeg, honestly, at times. Like, I really like the makeup of this Dallas team. I love Tyler Seguin. He's been one of my favorite players since he's been in the league. Frankly, he's been so fun to watch. It's just I don't like their coach. Honestly, I really don't like Bonus. At this point, I think what he's done this year for this team is terrible for the team. I think he's the worst coach they've had for this year. Like, it's just, I understand what he's done previous and done well. I'm done with him. After missing playoffs last year, even with an injured team, and still can't get the best out of some of these guys, I'm done out of Bonus. And then 19, I got Winnipeg. Again, such a disappointment. 20, Winnipeg, or 20, I've got Vancouver. Just the Bruce Boudreau. They're a different team right now, and I think they might make a little push.
Nice. Yeah, I got Vancouver at 21.
Yeah,
I think they'll kind of pull up a little bit. Hopefully, they get to 20, and the Islanders drop a little bit.
While you listed 21, you want to just keep going 22 to 22.
Yeah, sure.
Quick.
I just wanted to say something quick about Vancouver, just because the direction they go with, might be trading a Garland or something like that. I'm just interested to see how they end up taking another change and how they play after that. But
anyways, that's why I didn't have them as high for sure, because of that potential trade.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they could be from 20 to all of a sudden 26 or 25. I feel like they could really drop. But yeah,
for me, it's Demko.
Vancouver. I got my boys, the Red Wings, at 22. I think we'll keep up a decent year. 23, the old Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets and Devils I got in the same spot as last time. Nice. I haven't moved the Devils all year, keeping them at 24. 25, I got the Ottawa Senators, boys.
Nice.
Because I've got them pumping up a little bit, because I think they're going to have a little bit better.
Spoiler alert. I just copied you. I had the exact same spot. Ottawa 25. I think they're having a great end of the year. Nice. Go on 26.
Buffalo, another one that I think is gonna pop a squiz knot a little bit here. I see nothing but positivity all year. I've talked about it if you've been listening to the podcast. I just see positive things, and I
do too.
Think 26 is actually not bad.
I can't believe Buffalo, in the span of like 6 months, went from like the most hated team in the NHL to like one of the most enjoyable teams.
Yeah. And I guess a good point that I want to bring up about Ottawa and Buffalo is the fact that these are two like, what are you trading away at the deadline? You don't even have anything to trade away.
Yeah, they don't have much to trade away. Maybe a Chris Tierney. Maybe
Chris Tierney and Colin
Miller.
Basically what we're talking about here, and that's not going to destroy these teams. So I think they'll get better.
Yeah, that's a good point. They actually might get better after a trade like that.
Yeah, Chicago, I have at 27. Finally dropped them because I kept them at 19 last time. Yep. So they've dropped like 8 spots or something like that this time for me. As I've finally given up, as like they're seemingly. It sounds like they're going to be making some moves that might be another team that does better by just moving on from Kubalik and shit like that. You're not doing
we'll talk about Chicago next. Next pod, we'll talk about Chicago because I have a lot of stuff to bring up, so I can bring up the on ice stuff with them too. So we'll go in depth.
San Jose at 28, 29. Philadelphia, I got them dropping. 30, Seattle. I finally have given up on my Seattle Kraken, which, if you're listening to the podcast at a week or two after the 25 game one, the last time we did this, I was like definitely hung up the old jersey a couple weeks after. But I've been believing in this team, and that's straight up all it was me believing in this team, believing they were going to change, believing the things.
Well, they had to have one person believing in them.
Yeah, so somewhat circle to what Vegas did, like go out there and just play that gritty, it's a simple game if you really take it down to basics. They did absolutely nothing that I said. They didn't change a fucking thing all year. They don't plan to change a thing. Like I even said a couple of episodes ago, like they're even talking in their interviews the same. They're not even pretending they're shitty. They're just blowing it off like, still gonna have to bring a better effort. Like, what do you guys are just lying to yourself this whole year. So I'm just obviously fire sale there. Ron Francis is smart enough to do that. So they're gonna get a top 3 chance at a pick. I got Zona not in last and Montreal in last.
Yeah.
Because Zona's cooler than Montreal, and Montreal will 100% just be all about this.
Zona have a legit goalie. Yeah, Zona have this legit goalie. And Zona can't fail if they tried.
Yeah, and Zona's like clearly also team kind of like Ottawa and Buffalo, like how many pieces can you trade? Yeah. And like the pieces are not insanely impactful guys. Kessel's definitely
Johan Larson, Kessel, that's about it.
But Montreal could do a bigger fire sale because they have actual pieces and actual players, so they could really just almost not be a
Petrie,
team.
Anderson, Dvorak, if they really wanted to. There's tons of names out there. Lehkonen. Nope. What do you got for us though, Jordan, for your final 21 to 32?
All right, 21 to 32. Here we go. I've got 21. I've got the Islanders.
Yep.
22, the Jets.
Yeah.
23, the Red Wings.
The Jets low. That's interesting. I agree, but
yeah,
23, I've got the Wings. 24, the Devils.
Sorry, who was 23 again?
The Wings.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was 24. The Devils.
Yeah.
Nice. All
the
over
Devils.
That. I'm all about that 24 all year with the Devils.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I call that somehow.
That'd be so funny.
Just
if you had to call one thing right, Pierre Engvall shitty. No. Chris Kreider shitty. No. Fucking New Jersey Devils 24.
25, I have Columbus.
Yeah.
26, Chicago. 27, I have Buffalo.
Yeah.
Nice.
28, Seattle. Yeah, 29, Ottawa.
Interesting. You're not as high in Ottawa.
No. 30, Philly. 31, Arizona. 32.
I love the number 30 pick. That is hilarious that you got Philly at the bottom three. I get it too.
Philly bottom three.
No, I get it. I completely get it.
I wanted to, but I couldn't put them down.
I couldn't quite put them. I wanted to, but I couldn't quite either. For me, at 21, I got San Jose. I think they're just going to be decent all year, but their goaltending, I'll let them down. I got Detroit at 22. I think they're just going to be 500 for the rest of the year, pretty much.
Yep, which is a lot better than they expected. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Number 23, I got New York Islanders. I think they'll do better, but not enough to be better than the Wings, basically. 24, I got the Jackets because they're just shitty 2 games, really good for a game. Shitty 2 games, really good for a game. So it'll continue, I presume. 25, obviously, I said Ottawa. I think they're going to have a late resurgence. 26, I got the Devils. They're just really struggling right now. I don't know what's going on there. 27. Weird, huh? Yeah, it's really interesting how Devils been playing. 27, I got the Buffalo Sabres. Like Chase said, they're actually a hockey team and exciting. 28, we got the shitty Chicago Blackhawks. Got nothing but bad things to say about them there. 29, we got the Philadelphia Flyers. Again, like Chase said, couldn't quite squeeze them in my bottom.
Nobody can quite lose like Philly this year.
Yeah, that's true.
At least not as consistently.
But somehow Seattle, Arizona, and Montreal are below them. So
yeah, exactly.
They're going to stay below them for me. I got Seattle 30, Arizona 31, Montreal 32. Like Chase said, Arizona, for me, I put Arizona 31 for 2 reasons. 1, Montreal is just somehow so bad. 2, like I just mentioned, I think it's so funny that Arizona can't even lose right. Yeah. They can't even tank, which is hilarious because they've never won. Have they ever had a first overall pick?
I don't think they have.
No idea.
How is that possible? How many times have they made playoffs? Probably. Can you count? 5? 3? 2? I can count once for sure where they went on a legit run. And that's it. Maybe 2 or 3 times I count them in the playoffs. So, I don't know how they have never gotten it.
Yeah, my big reason for Montreal to get that, I guess, the chances at the number 1 spot is I think they fully want to do this. And Shane Wright is exactly the Saku Koivu Patrice Bergeron that town wants and thinks can be if there's anybody who can just overhype this guy for the rest of his career, it's Montreal.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll just love the fact that he's
know what though?
They'll just embrace the fuck out of him. So that's why I feel like they're gonna just
trust
100%
the future
go for this. Like we're getting at least the top chances at this guy.
No, absolutely. Because if you can get a chance of getting Shane Wright and Suzuki as your 1-2 center for the next 10 years, you do it.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying it's gonna work out terribly or anything.
No,
like
obviously.
if there's somebody who like this team and this franchise, the fans, they're all out for sure. I'll take Shane Wright. I want Shane Wright. Everybody's all like,
everyone's like that for sure. Yeah,
got that sweet Bergeron taste in their mouth.
No, I get it for sure. But yeah, that's our power rankings for it. Did you guys want to get into what the playoffs would look like if you guys ended like this? Cool. Chase, why don't you kick us off then? What do you got in the East?
What I got in the East? Well, I got the beautiful, beautiful matchup of Pittsburgh and Washington. Sticking with it. Sticking to it. Never, ever going away from it, boys. Same thing, I think my East is my East. Yeah, it is the exact same as I had last time. Carolina playing Boston. That'll be a good matchup. And then the Florida Panthers playing the Rangers. Oh wait, nope, I am wrong.
Florida Boston.
I dropped Boston. Below the Rangers. I gave the Rangers a little bit of a toot there. So weirdly enough, we'll have the divisions playing each other. Carolina will play the Rangers. Nice. Florida will play Boston, and then the Tampa, Toronto, Washington, and Pittsburgh. So god damn, that'd be sweet. That would be sweet. That legit East.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like every series is gonna be fun. Every series in the East will be entertaining. As long as the few teams that show up do, and that's pretty much Boston, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Toronto, and New York. I guess maybe New York could throw in that mix, but it'll be really, really good in the East. What about in the West? What does your West look like, Chase?
West looks pretty interesting. I'll start with probably the least interesting one would be Colorado and Dallas, because Colorado will just eat Dallas up quite easily.
Yeah.
I do like Dallas, but they're gonna have to make like quite the trade to be able to pull something off to actually upset. I don't see them being an upset team, that's for sure. Happy to be there. Vegas playing Nashville. So nice. That would be a good series. Really hope that actually happens. That'd be so sick. And I'm sticking with my Alberta matchup. Calgary,
nice. Edmonton. Battle of Alberta. Love it.
Battle
That's
of
what
Alberta.
Everyone wants. That's what everyone wants.
Fun. Yeah. And then the American Battle of Alberta, in a sense, Minnesota and St. Louis, the old Central.
Oh yeah.
Teams. They're decent rivals, so that'd be a good matchup.
Great. All right, Jordan, do you want to quickly give yours, and then I'll give mine, then we'll close up.
I have no idea how to tell mine. So
okay. Okay. Then we'll just so your number one seed would play the last seed, basically.
Right. In the East.
Okay, so who is? Let's do it this way. We're gonna go in the East. We're gonna do the Metro. So who is your second and third place in the Metro? So your first was Carolina. So who was your next two Metro teams?
Pittsburgh and the Rangers.
So that would be one matchup. And then it was Tampa, Toronto in the other matchup, because you had Florida above them all, right?
Mm-hmm. Who
was your last place team in the East and first place team in the East? Boston and Florida?
Boston and
Florida.
Washington, I think.
Yeah.
Was Washington was last?
Yeah.
I thought Bruins were further back.
No, Bruins were last.
Bruins at 16, Stars at 15, 14 are the Preds.
Yeah, so because it's the East, it would be Boston. So it'd be Boston versus Florida, and then it would be Carolina versus Washington. That's your East. West.
Yeah.
Who's your
Pittsburgh against the Rangers would be pretty crazy.
Yeah,
sounds kind of a fun series.
Your number one team in the Central was Colorado. So who is your last team in? Well, actually, let's go with who is your two teams in the Central after
the Avs?
Yeah.
The Wild.
So the Wild would play.
Who's the Blues? Are the Blues
there? Yeah, it'd be the Blues.
Yeah.
Wild Blues, and then the two teams Pacific Do you have Calgary Edmonton as your second and third?
Yes, I think so.
So that'd be Battle of Alberta, and then Colorado would play your last place team in the West.
Vegas, I think.
Well, Vegas would be first in the Pacific, so they'd play second last. So it's do you have Nashville in a playoff spot or no?
Yeah, they're in 14.
Okay, then it'd be Nashville, and do you have Dallas in a playoff spot?
Yeah.
Okay, it'd be Nashville and Dallas. I think Nashville will play Vegas, and Dallas will play Colorado. Same as Jordan. Yeah. So there's your matchups.
Oh my God, you guys can figure that shit out.
that was so hard to do without looking at your list, though. Like, I'm just like,
I was very impressed.
My brain was working so hard there. But yeah, no,
I got excited. Like, if a Minnesota-St. Louis matchup, like, do you have that matchup?
I do have that matchup. Yeah, I'll quickly go through mine, and we'll.
Intense.
Yeah, I'll go through the West. So I got St. Louis, Minnesota. That would be intense. I got Calgary and LA. That would be pretty intense. Sutter versus old team. That would be so fun.
Doubt.
Vegas versus Nashville. Love that. That would be so low scoring, actually. And this would be so high scoring. Colorado, Edmonton. That would be an insane series. Every game would probably be 10 goals in the game. 8 goals in the game at least. Minimum.
Yeah, definitely between 6. That's fucking for sure. Yeah. Like, wow.
Honestly, I'm willing to put money that every game would have 7 or more goals in between the two teams. And then East, I've got Carolina, Boston. I've got Florida, Washington, Pittsburgh, New York, and Tampa, Toronto. So pretty well the same in the East. But yeah,
Pittsburgh, New York. Hey,
yeah, I like that. That would be an interesting series. If I'm being honest, I'm looking at all these teams in the East and Pittsburgh, and I'm like, oh fuck. This isn't gonna be fun no matter who we play. I don't care who you are in the East, this sucks.
Everybody built their teams in the Metro to beat you, so like that's what they've been trying to do.
And it's definitely and now Tampa, and now the Atlantic's building teams to beat Tampa. So like, doesn't matter what division you're in, you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Hey.
Yeah, no, it's
worried about Pittsburgh and their chances. Like they're got cup aspirations. Yeah. This is not looking good. Toronto looks a lot better. So that's just not good. You don't want anybody else to get better.
What? If we play if I'm gonna list the 3 teams that I would rather play in the East, and this is gonna insult a lot of people, and we do need to close out the podcast because we're already like 30 minutes past, but that's okay. Third team I'd want to play the most, probably the team I have matched up, the Rangers, just because of their defensive struggle can be. Second, I would want Washington because we've always had a great record against Washington. And last, honestly, Toronto. The first team I'd want to probably play is Toronto. One, they can't get past first round, and our system against Toronto is so good. It fits and beats them every time almost. So I'm actually very comfortable against Toronto, surprisingly.
Yeah, they're definitely.
You shut down Matthews and Marner, and they can't score. So
the good thing about the East is that all these teams are good enough that they're gonna create themselves into like the cup winners most likely going to come from the East because you have 3
matchups. It's a hard matchup, be 3 times in a row.
Intense, Definitely 2, for surely 2 with Tampa from the start to the end.
I can see every game going 7 in the East. Like literally any which matchup I could see going 7.
Because one thing that I always say is like you always have a tough matchup off the start. Like you don't just win the cup from getting through the first round easy or something like that. Right? It never seems to be that way. You always got to have like just a super hard matchup off the start.
Yeah, what do they say in World Junior tournaments constantly? The team that usually wins is the team that faces the most adversity and wins.
Yeah, right? And like I just see that so much in the Metro. Like, I'm gonna
Carolina.
Like Boston can make moves. Boston could make moves. Like, say they got Chikrin. Like that means that I think that could change things, and maybe they get like a different set. And all of a sudden, we have 4 first-round matchups in the Metro or in the East that are actually going to be so hard and can create the pressure of the Stanley Cup winning team. So I'm kind of circling the East this year for a Stanley Cup win, but when it comes to the West, I really look at that Minnesota St. Louis
like the last
and
2 years.
I love the fact that Minnesota and St. Louis. Like that's a good starting matchup. Those two teams, I have a real good feeling.
And know what's crazy? Those are both teams that are like never seem to make a run. I know St. Louis won in 2018, but like before that, they were notorious for like always failing early, first round, second round.
Oh, I know.
Minnesota. So that's what makes
it a lot of.
Yeah, you would know.
We've done several hockey playoff drafts and ate that bullet several times.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like that. Like I'm bringing that up because I'm a little worried about Colorado playing like a Dallas. Like you almost want it to be like a super hot LA team coming in, or like an Anaheim or something like that.
Edmonton
I don't know about Edmonton because that's just a whole different series, right? Like Edmonton, unless they get like a
but you can
settle
score.
down game and a defensive. Yeah, but you need a hard matchup. Like you want to play super hard games off the start and get pushed, not just play a shooting affair. And that's what I'd be worried about Colorado and Edmonton. But like, or them playing Dallas, like I think they'll just beat them up, and that's not what you need. You don't want to beat up the other team the whole series because then it's like I said, you don't want that pass in the first round. Like you want to be challenged because that always makes you way better, and a better chance. So, though I should say that about Vegas and Nashville because that'll be a matchup that could really force a Stanley Cup winning team too. Because man. Yeah, good matchups, but definitely not worried about anybody
this playoffs.
Specific
we're not even close to playoffs, and I'm so pumped. Like it's so exciting. Any which way you put it, it's going to be a fun playoffs. So we'll just have to wait and reevaluate after the deadline, which is probably when we'll do our next power ranking after the deadline, then one at the final season. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's been the Couch on Ice podcast. Go follow us on our social medias on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at the Couch on Ice. And that's all I got. We'll see you guys next podcast. Bye, guys.
Peace.